What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories.
8 Shish. Chapter 171, the final work on the Sabayati archipelago. Chen didn't think there was anything wrong with this introduction. At least in this arena, Xing Shoulang is indeed a deputy emperor. What if the two actually meet in the future? How is that possible? Not from the same world. Crack, a snap of fingers. Chen and Shang have returned to the front of the difficulty gate. Wait a minute, I'm going to arrange a training plan for you. Chen glanced at the bear slightly expectantly. This guy is the strongest who has entered the training dojo so far. Plus the ability of the flesh ball fruit exists. Even in the face of the top 10 difficulty, there is still no chance of victory, at least 2 moves. If he can mess around a bit, then maybe he can really see the existence of someone who is hard against difficulty 10 in advance. You can just wander around here. 39. Talking. 070. Chen entered the door of difficulty 8. As soon as he reached the difficulty gate, Chen couldn't wait to start calling the system. System, customization, training Bartholomew Bear, and obtaining the method of soul fusion in the soul fusion method. Listening to Chen's order, the system quickly began to deduce and calculate. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Bartholomew Bear. Close black lens bracket. Training goal. To obtain the method of melting the soul into the body in the method of melting the soul. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Smash your own soul, and then let it integrate into the body. It can be done in 1 day. J. Listen to the sound of the system. Chen was a little dumbfounded. I was thinking about it as soon as possible, but I didn't think about how to destroy the soul. The world of One Piece is not a fantasy world, and it is easy to take out or use the soul. Think for a moment. Chen also had no choice. His power is now the complete body of Obito, which is Kamui, Gundam, and the rest of the power comes from other people who have trained during this time. He didn't know what to do with the soul. A time. Chen couldn't figure it out and didn't know what to do. Transformed training. System, customization, training Bartholomew Bear, to obtain the power to control his own soul and the method of soul fusion in the soul fusion method. This statement is based on Chen's own thinking. As long as you have the power to control your soul, you can destroy your own soul. As for why he only chooses to control his own soul, the main reason is that the bear has not much time. Chen naturally wanted to rely on the bear to gain the power to control the souls of others. However, now there is not enough time, it can only be the method of melting souls. Likewise, excerpts are part of it. Chen also needs. Listening to Chen's order, the system started deduction and calculation again. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Bartholomew Bear. Close black lens bracket. Training goal. To acquire the power to control the soul and the method of soul fusion in the soul fusion method. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Chant the scriptures for 7 days to obtain the method to control one's own soul, and it takes 1 day to break the soul into the body. Close black lens bracket. Listening to the system's voice, Chen nodded with satisfaction. According to the speculation given by the previous system, that is to say, it takes a day to break the soul into the body. Then, that is to say, it takes 7 days to chant the scriptures. Although it is said that the bear's time is not too much. But he just asked. It will be about half a month before Shang will perform the last operation to erase consciousness. This time point is exactly the same as the time point when Ace was executed. Can see. World government also has its own considerations. Although somewhat urgent, but it is enough time. As for chanting scriptures for 7 days to keep bears from eating or drinking. It looks weird if you put it on someone else. But the crux of the matter is, he's a bear. If you have a book in your hand, you just need to replace the book with religious scriptures such as Taoist scriptures, Buddhist scriptures, and the Bible. If you are afraid of being discovered, the content will be replaced, and the cover will not be replaced. The bear is Shichibukai again, born to be the pinnacle of pirates and feared by pirates. In addition to the fact that the bear will soon be wiped out of consciousness, Marine will not have much doubts and movements. As such, this seems a bit of a cough condition. It miraculously came true. The bear stared at the book for 7 days without sleep. It seemed strange, but in fact it was able to cover up the past. It can be regarded as a blessing. Chen smiled. He walked out from the door of difficulty 8. To Chen's slight disappointment. The bear didn't move too much. Just stand quietly in place. Although it is said that this is in line with the bear's character, it will not do superfluous things. However, the disappointment is still to be disappointed. After all, it is very interesting to see the existence of difficulty 10 to abuse people. Your training plan is to chant the scriptures for 7 days to gain control over your soul and then smash it into your body, for a total of 8 days. 35. The bear nodded, without the slightest doubt. Oh, thank you. 35. Chen was a little strange about Shang's indifference. However, he still did not ask the exit in the end. Perhaps, in the bear's own eyes, he was already dead. Whether Chen is lying to him, or it is true. There is hope for bears. Holding on to my life, it doesn't matter if I don't. Nature doesn't care about anything. Okay, you hurry up and chant the scriptures. Remember, Don't let people bother you, you only have enough time left to do this type of thing once. If you are really unsure, then leave naval headquarters and Sabayati archipelago and go to an isolated island. 995. This is what I have said, it is my last care for you, the next time we meet, maybe my training dojo has been set up, if you want to get help from me, you have to prepare a big price. If it's just money, I'm not short of it. Alright. Enough Versailles. Lu Chen didn't respond either. Go straight out of where the bear is. He has 2 other guys out of training at the Sabayati archipelago. Eustace Kid and X-1.3 Drake. One of these 2 people is almost a copy of Luffy. One is the marine trader. They are all the strong among the strong, and even if they are placed in the older generation, they are definitely not the bottom. It can be said that if you gain strength from them, you will definitely gain more. Lu Chen intends to stay until the last big fish. Unfortunately, his speed still didn't catch up with the speed of the Straw Hat Pirates. Now, whether it's Eustace Kid or X Drake, they are not so easy to find, and they have to run for their lives. Their own training program may not be of interest to them. A thought here. Lu Chen pondered for a moment. However, he had not waited for him to think of a way to deal with it. A figure appeared behind him. Chapter 172, Can Ding Xiaoyu also come? Lu Chen. Follow the sound. It turned out to be a marine trader. X. Drake, known as the Fallen Marine Rear Admiral, and Red Flag Drake. I've always heard that you're looking for supernovas to train them. Said it was to test your new training dojo. What, is the test over now? It seems. The advertising effect is here. Lu Chen looked at Drake with a hint of happiness in his eyes. This is what he wants. I just didn't expect it to come so soon. As for who disclosed it, Lu Chen doesn't care. Anyway, the whole sea will know about it in the future. It was obvious that Drake's purpose was to gain power from her. Originally, he thought that the situation was now under the pressure of the Sabayati Archipelago Marine Army. Drake and Kid should be hard to find. Unexpectedly, Drake took the initiative to appear in front of him. It's not over. As Drake Rear Admiral going to test. Rear Admiral, 35. Drake heard the title, and a flash of memory flashed in his eyes. It was obvious that he missed his life in Marine. Only, he quickly shook his head. You can reminisce about the past, but not indulge. If not, he couldn't have achieved what he is now. Since defecting from the Marine, then he wouldn't care about it. Perhaps, it is more appropriate for you to call me a pirate. The name is just polite. Looking at Drake, Lu Chen shook his head slightly. You should know what's going on the Sabayati archipelago right now. I asked straight to the point. 35. Are you going to come to me for training? Drake didn't expect Lu Chen to be so refreshing. First stunned for a moment, then nodded, of course. 95. Otherwise, why would I take the initiative to come in front of someone who might be an enemy and who can kill me? 99. Are you looking for death? Ha ha ha, refreshing. Lu Chen gave Drake a thumbs up. Crack. 35. A snap of fingers. Lu Chen took Drake to the front of the difficulty gate. With Drake's entry, the first 4 of the difficulty gates are directly closed. Difficulty 5. It was not unexpected. Supernova is basically this strength. Lu Chen thought for a moment in his heart. Slowly said. Training dojo. I briefly talked about the rules of the training dojo and how to obtain training rewards. Lu Chen looked at Drake with interest. How? What difficulty level are you going to choose? Drake looked at the difficulty gate, while analyzing the pros and cons. In the end, he still pointed his finger in the direction of difficulty 5. It's still difficulty 5. Since you also said that my strength is basically around difficulty 5, why should I challenge a difficulty that is stronger than myself? Isn't normal strength and training bad? Indeed so. Lu Chen nodded. Then, difficulty 5 challenges. Clap. With a snap of fingers. Drake has appeared in the arena. The person opposite him is actually a real person. This real person does not mean that they are fake people. Rather, the style is completely different. Is the real person from the 3-dimensional? This is. Lu Chen frowned at the enemy in front of Drake. Gradually, shocked. A song, Enough Love, almost blurted out. Good guy, no wonder it looks so familiar. Isn't this Ding Xiaoyu? However, judging from the later stages of the Ultimate series, a person of Ding Xiaoyu's level should not be on difficulty 9 but also on difficulty 8. A little thought. In addition, Ding Xiaoyu did not have the hand of Ares, which made Lu Chen think of the key point. It seems that this should be Ding Xiaoyu before the performance of the Ultimate Class 1, so it is not surprising. Ding Xiaoyu. The character is from the Ultimate Class 1. People gave him the nickname Deadly Ron. He is one of the 3 main protagonists in Ultimate Class 1, and has the strongest right fist. No, the style of painting still needs to be changed. Lu Chen quickly made adjustments to Ding Xiaoyu. The completely real style of painting has gradually become the 2-dimensional style of comics. Because the battle has not yet begun. Although this transformation would make Drake puzzled, it would only be considered a normal change in the Phantom in the training dojo. Drake, the people in front of you are amazing. 99. According to the rules, Lu Chen explained again. This is a powerhouse from the other world, you need to be careful with his right punch. 35. After a brief introduction, Lu Chen stopped revealing. Start with a sound. Ding Xiaoyu slowly looked at Drake in front of him. Are you my enemy? Talking room. Ding Xiaoyu has raised his right hand. In Ding Xiaoyu's character, he would never take action against someone who is not an enemy or a stranger, even if he was beaten for it. Because his right fist is too pervert. It is for this reason that he has the nickname of the Beaten King in the audience. But Ding Xiaoyu here is different. He is just a phantom with the will to fight. Naturally, it will directly use the strongest ability against the enemy. Although I hate violence the most, if it's an enemy, there's nothing I can do. Powerful, so strong. Drake, who was against Ding Xiaoyu, felt a strong pressure from Ding Xiaoyu. There was a solemn expression on his face. 070. Roar. The roar of the beast sounded. After the sound that seemed to shatter the world. Drake's body had changed. He directly transformed into a dinosaur. From the looks of it, it should be an Allosaurus. Dinosaurs. Ding Xiaoyu was obviously taken aback when she saw Drake transform. However, the Ultimate series even has a dozen of planes. Other bizarre things are also endless. Even Ding Xiaoyu, who just appeared on the stage, was quickly calmed down by him when faced with such a small scene. I have eaten a lot of pork and beef. I just don't know if dinosaur meat is delicious. Good guy. This guy actually misses Drake's dinosaur meat. See here. Lu Chen above the audience choked on a sip of coke. Cough cough. Cough cough cough. Barely calmed down. His eyes were also on Drake. After Ding Xiaoyu said so. He did have some ideas. However, this dinosaur meat naturally cannot be obtained from Drake. After all, Lu Chen didn't have such a habit of eating people. But what? He also knew that there was another place with dinosaur meat. That future will appear funny than the present location. Punk Hazard. Chapter 173. Have a good fight, Ding Xiaoyu's right fist. That place has dinosaur meat. No, it's more accurate to say that there are all kinds of imitation fruits. That funny guy has improved the artificial devil fruit. Even the ancient creatures are mythical existences that originally existed only on the fruit were brought back to the world. Dinosaurs, of course, are among them. Instead of eating human-turned dinosaurs, get an artificial devil fruit, let the pigs eat it, and finally eat the pig-turned artificial dinosaurs. Wouldn't that be eating dinosaur meat? Thought here. Even Lu Chen himself couldn't help laughing. Really, only the world where pigs are injured has been achieved. Just when Lu Chen was thinking about how to eat dinosaur meat. The two people in the arena were already moving. Ding Xiaoyu instantly burst out with extremely strong power. Even in the face of dinosaurs, he did not flinch. Directly stretched out his right fist and hit it. The same is true for Drake, who rushed directly to Ding Xiaoyu. Huge feet raised. Ding Xiaoyu will be trampled to death directly. Do you think that you can outperform me in terms of strength if you have a superior size? Ding Xiaoyu's tone was unusually arrogant and confident. He raised his right fist directly, and directly met Drake's huge right foot that was enough to crush people into meat sauce. Court death. While speaking, Ding Xiaoyu's fist was already smashed. Court death. I think you are too arrogant and confident. Drake looked disapproving. In fact, it was all out. After all, among the 5 difficulty levels, existing people or other beings are people who can be similar to themselves, or even stronger than themselves. You can despise him strategically, but you must not underestimate him strategically. It was the only useful thing he could learn in Marine. Go to hell, ants. At this time, Drake, who transformed into an Allosaurus, was nearly 10 meters long. For his stature, a body the size of an ordinary human can't be called an ant, but it's not bad. Bang. 9. Fist and foot collide. Drake was immediately stunned. I can't step on it myself. Not to mention cutting Ding Xiaoyu in front of him into meat sauce. Even shaking Ding Xiaoyu can't do it. This is only possible if there is an essential difference in strength. How come? The facts are in front of you. Drake also had to admit that he lost strength to Ding Xiaoyu in front of him. Feel the difference in power. Drake was completely bewildered. There was a fearful expression on the dragon's face. Wow. 35. In the audience, Lu Chen even applauded. In terms of appearance and size, this is almost incomparable to Ding Xiaoyu and Xenosaurus. At this time, Ding Xiaoyu had the upper hand. Should I say, is it really Ding Xiaoyu? I didn't expect this power to come here, but it's still worth seeing. 9. Talking. Lu Chen took out a box from the side. Self-heating rice. The side dish inside is braised pork. Get up. Lu Chen's self-heated rice is delicious. The arena has changed again. Ding Xiaoyu not only stopped Drake's attack. At this moment, there is a faint look of flying Drake's huge body. How come? Drake felt the change in his right foot, and even lost control. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't change his state of being held. His face was panicked. Impossible. Show fear. But things have reached an irreversible stage. Ding Xiaoyu's face flushed. Push up hard. Boom. Drake, who had transformed into an Allosaurus, was directly thrown out. The huge body directly hit the edge of the arena. Under the tumbling, it directly smashed the entire arena. Pity. In the audience, Lu Chen's quick dry meal. A look of helplessness appeared in his eyes. Although Ding Xiaoyu is very strong. But now Ding Xiaoyu is still a little bit worse. Looking at the rosy face, it was obvious that he was hurt by Drake's strength. The reason why Drake was so embarrassed. I am afraid that it is also draining my body. Also, the strength of Ding Xiaoyu and others only grew rapidly after the performance of the drama, and the current Ding Xiaoyu is really not enough to watch. Speaking of which, Lu Chen has finished his self-heating rice. Just wave. Let the snack cart disappear. Eyes shifted to Drake. That's what I said. 5. But Ding Xiaoyu is still Ding Xiaoyu after all. It can make Ding Xiaoyu injured, and even he is almost unscathed. It seems that being big is not a bad thing. In fact it is. In the film and television animation games and other plots, big things are generally toyed with, and they can't even become the final boss. But in reality this is not the case. Rhino, hippo, elephant. Without modern weapons, it is extremely difficult to defeat them. If there are not dozens or hundreds of people to deal with one of them together, it is basically unrealistic to defeat those large creatures. It's now up to Drake to find out if he was directly frightened by Ding Xiaoyu's power far beyond his own. 99. It's not impossible to lose. 99. In this way, Lu Chen began to be quiet, looking at the arena seriously. Either Drake was terrified, or that Drake found that Ding Xiaoyu was in the hands of the levers, and his internal organs had been frustrated. This battle is coming to an end. Lu Chen didn't continue to conjure up a snack truck, looking for some snacks to eat. So strong. Drake got up quickly. His eyes were fixed on Ding Xiaoyu, who was still not walking towards him. At this time, he was really frightened by Ding Xiaoyu's powerful right fist. Involuntarily backed away, looking at Ding Xiaoyu in front of him. There was panic in of Zhao's Drake's eyes. My strength is more than this. Really? An unusual blush flashed on Ding Xiaoyu's face. Apparently he was badly injured by the foot that Drake had just stepped on. Only, he is now acting as if nothing was happening. Then why are you afraid? Not because you are a monster. With my strength, more than 100 people even shot together. It was given to you by you. In panic, Drake keenly noticed the abnormality on Ding Xiaoyu's face. The former Marine Rear Admiral is now the pirate supernova. He can be said to be extremely experienced in combat. How could I not know the reason for this redness? At this stage, Drake's face also showed a hint of mockery. That's it. Can see. Drake's fear had completely vanished, and confidence reappeared on his face. Chapter 174. The battle is over, the last supernova. Although your strength is above me, your strength is also above me. But this ability to fight, is it weaker? Listening to Drake's words, Ding Xiaoyu's already ugly face became even more ugly. Ding Xiaoyu can perceive that Drake is not a weak person, and if he denies it, it will only be himself, so he does not intend to deny it. Is there anything to be proud of? Certainly. Just like now, although it stands to reason that I should have been injured more seriously. 35. But now it's you. Drake said so, but he didn't dare to change back into a human form. After all, his special dragon form is more than 10 times stronger than the human form's defense. Although he could perceive Ding Xiaoyu's physical condition. But, after all, a master is a master, or a master who is better than himself. In case of dying back and killing himself, then it's not worth it. Ding Xiaoyu was depressed and stared at Drake. Even so, you are not my opponent. Talking. Ding Xiaoyu stepped on the ground with one foot. The huge reaction force directly made him jump high. As time goes by, his stamina and physical condition will only get worse. Only the first to launch a counterattack. See if you can trade your injury for your life before your body completely collapses. Go to hell. Angry 070 roars in the mouth. Ding Xiaoyu rushed directly to Drake. Boom. One punch. Fast enough that Drake didn't respond at all. The body flew out sideways again. A few more rolls. The arena was directly destroyed by nearly half, and then it stopped. But, this punch still didn't do much damage to Drake. A flash of sharpness flashed in his eyes. Although the strength and speed of Ding Xiaoyu's fist is still not something that Drake can resist. But, he has been able to keenly perceive the gap between this punch and the first punch. If the first punch can still cause damage to his rough-skinned body and make him suffer, this punch has only the result of hitting him embarrassed. Although embarrassed, but injury is impossible. What a fast nerf. Looking at Ding Xiaoyu in front of him, Drake looked surprised. Could it be that when you fought for the first time, you were not strong and confident, but paid a very painful price? Ding Xiaoyu did not speak. But it is also the default. Can only say, the combat experience is really too shallow. If Ding Xiaoyu can ACBD, get out of the way. The outcome of the two is yet to be determined. But, now, Ding Xiaoyu can hold on for 3 more minutes at most, and his physical strength and physical weakness will make him weaker than Drake in every way. Since you're not coming. 35. Then here I am. Another moment of waiting. Drake slowly looked at Ding Xiaoyu. After 2 punches, Ding Xiaoyu had only a defensive posture left. Roar. 55. The battle resumes. Pity. The form has changed. Drake completely had the upper hand. As Ding Xiaoyu became weaker. Eventually eliminated by Drake. Fantastic counter-attack. A keen observation. 5. In the audience. After Drake defeated Ding Xiaoyu, he passed it over. Lu Chen praised him without any hesitation. Although less. Drake really only managed to persevere. But don't underestimate this. Even just these 2 words have already isolated more than 90% of the people. Facing Lu Chen's compliments, Drake was not complacent, but after a little thought, he began to summarize himself. I can only say that I am lucky. This guy doesn't have enough actual combat experience, otherwise, I will lose. 39. Such humility can also make you go further. Lu Chen stretched out his right hand. Pop. A finger snapped. Lu Chen and Drake have returned to the difficulty gate. Wait a minute, I'll help you design a training plan first. Done. Lu Chen entered the door of difficulty 5. System, customization, training X Drake. Speaking of which, Lu Chen was a little confused. He also didn't know what plans to make for Drake. Drake, dinosaur fruit. Have it. Lu Chen suddenly thought of something. System, customization, training X Drake, dragon fruit, ancient species, Allosaurus form fruit awakening. 99. That's right, Lu Chen intends to directly awaken his fruit. In this case, it can at least increase his strength by 2 steps, reaching Marine Vice Admiral, which is the level of difficulty 7. It is also possible to see what zone can get by awakening. The most important thing is, in this way, whether it is curiosity, or in terms of strength, speed, and defense, Lu Chen can be greatly improved. This is an absolute win-win situation. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. X Drake. Close black lens bracket. Training target. Dragon fruit, ancient species, Allosaurus form fruit awakening. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, running 10 kilometers every day for 600 days. Close black lens bracket. What? Is this training fruit awakening, or training an invincible person? As the old two-dimensional. Of course Lu Chen knows this training method. Isn't that how Saitama trains? Forget it. 35. Shaking his head slightly. Lu Chen didn't know what the system was thinking, and he didn't plan to pursue it. No matter what Drake gets, Lu Chen gets the same thing, strength, ascension. If it really is to cultivate a Saitama out of it, the one who should be most happy is definitely Lu Chen. Step out of the door of difficulty 5. At this time, Drake was wandering around in the space of the difficulty gate. Your training plan is out. 100 squats, 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 10 kilometers run a day. What? Hearing Lu Chen's words, Drake was stunned. The physique of people in the world of One Piece is generally stronger than the system of other superplanes. This seems like a difficult training. Especially for the practitioners like them, it can be considered as a warm-up activity at most. Lu Chen, you. Turn around and look. Where is Lu Chen? He had returned to the Sabayati archipelago, and even, in the distance, could see Marine faintly. No way. Little life is more important now. Just run away quickly. As for Lu Chen, it is to start looking for the last of the supernovae. It's also the person Lu Chen wanted him to develop GARP-level armament hockey. On Sabayati archipelago, under Shui Lun's eyes, he didn't find that familiar figure at all. Turning his eyes, Lu Chen expanded his search and finally found it at sea. Kid, I'm here to find you. Chapter 175 Proud Kid, completely stunned. Kid, a person who really interested Lu Chen. In other words, a person who was enough to reassure Lu Chen. He's as brainless as even Luffy. Happens to be able to go to the supernova position. It was even higher than Luffy's bounty at one point. You can see how high his potential is. However, it is precisely because of his similar character to Luffy. Enough for Lu Chen to teach him the GARP-level armament hockey that he wanted the most, but was also the most dangerous. See, a place that devours the universe. It is also the place where all living things are born. Sabayati archipelago is buzzing with Marine's presence. But for the sea, it is a small fight. Everything on the island has absolutely no effect on the sea. So, you promised him directly, and also had a fight with someone from Otherworld. A pirate ship. Kid looked at Kira in front of him with a surprised expression on his face. Kira nodded. In his mind, he recalled the battle with Momoji Zabuzuki. That's a respectable opponent. If you don't cut it again, it's not a phantom, but self-awareness. Even if he uses observation hockey, he may not win. After all, the complete consciousness of man can work miracles. And only the combat awareness, although it seems to be much stronger in combat, but also loses combat experience and on-the-spot judgment. So, if you don't cut the natural ones, you will be at a disadvantage. Kid's eyes were full of disbelief. Also, you went through the test of the training dojo with Lu Chen, and you only changed a knife. 99 feet. It should be said that Lu Chen gave me the training. Kira thought for a while. He also thought about it for a long time. I beat iron ore 10 hours a day for 600 days. Single quote. This condition is to give him a weapon. Obviously, it is the beheading sword that will not be cut again. It's just that Lu Chen's training just coincided with what I wanted. After all, I didn't finish my sentence. Kira didn't know what Lu Chen was thinking. He also doesn't know how far Lu Chen can do it. The training plan also needs 600 days to complete. What exactly is in the hand, or wait until the end of the training to know. And, at the end of the day, I don't know what the reward will be after training. 9. Hey, 95. Kid hates iron and looks at his brother in front of him. This is also something that cannot be grasped. After all, the specific reward depends on what training Lu Chen will arrange. Forget it, it's something you like anyway. 99. Shaking his head slightly. Kid simply gave up the questioning. Directly against the wall next to it. I've heard others say it before. 35. That B*********** D. Lu Chen has found several supernovas and invited them to a test at the training dojo. 5. It's a little bit confusing to me. This guy didn't even look for me. I am the second-ranked existence in the 12 of us who has a bounty other than him. 39. If you want to test, of course you want to find a strong person, right? Could it be that B D Lu Chen is afraid of me? Of course not. At this time, a voice replied to him. No, Kid didn't respond, just responding to the words of the person who just spoke. Then what's the explanation? The Straw Hat crew is his companion, and he's obviously trained them all. Besides them, shouldn't I be the first to be found among the people who can be found by him? Of course it's because you are the strongest, so I want to stay until the end. The voice replied again. Makes sense. However, why do you want to stay until? Kid looked suspiciously at the source of the sound. A figure stood on the edge of the boat, looking down at him. I rely on. Kid was taken aback. The hand tightened unconsciously. Fruit ability is activated. Countless steel artifacts were drawn into his hands to form a huge fist. Hit Lu Chen directly. However, his fist fell directly. Lu Chen easily dodged his attack. He went straight to the boat with a relaxed look on his face. This moment, including Kira, all the crew members of the Kid Pirates drew their weapons one after another and looked at Lu Chen with hostility. Don't be so wary. To this, Lu Chen hasn't said anything yet. Instead, Kid just let his people relax. Just what the D Lu Chen just did. If you really want to kill us, it's almost as if the people on the ship don't say that there is no one alive. 0. Ask for flowers. Done. Kid looked at Lu Chen. In conjunction with Lu Chen there is no hostility. Plus a test at the training dojo between him and Supernova before. He probably guessed what Lu Chen meant. Did you come to my test training dojo? Lu Chen looked at Kid and nodded. This guy deserves to be called the second Luffy of another character by some Hemi. Although it seems silly, but it also has its cleverness. That's right. Lu Chen nodded directly, looking at Kid curiously. How is it? Do you want to participate? 35. Kid was thinking about this just now. Although he said he was confident in his own strength, he also understood the meaning of New World. 0. It was a place that Marine headquarters dared not set foot in lightly. Can be stronger, naturally is better. Certainly. Kid nodded directly. If you can gain power, who will refuse? Since you're here, let's get started. I can't wait to see your training dojo. 35. Don't rush. In this regard, Lu Chen was also a little speechless. It was the first time he had seen such a positive person. But, this also means that your training dojo plan is very effective. Later, when Luffy and others train for 2 years, your business will be booming. A thought here. Lu Chen became happier. I'll let you meet. Talking. Lu Chen stretched out his right hand. Clap. A finger snapped. Lu Chen and Kid have come to the difficulty gate of the training dojo. Is this the difficulty gate that Kira was talking about? Kid wasn't confused by being in an unfamiliar place. The whole person showed an excited expression, pacing back and forth in front of the difficulty gate. Really stylish. Lu Chen glanced at the difficulty gate. The first 4 seats were also closed. Then his eyes turned to Kid. If it's the rules, Kira should have told you, I won't repeat it to you. Now which difficulty do you want to choose? Of course it's difficulty 10. Kid looked curiously towards the gate of difficulty 10. You can read more daily new novels on fictionzone.net. Both sites shared the same login details so you don't need to sign up again. Chapter 176 Ultraman Noah, the legendary giant of light. Please customize, please complete. He did know about the training dojo, and at the same time, he also knew that the people in difficulty 5 were almost the same as them. But what exactly was in difficulty 10, Kira didn't tell him. Since it is not life-threatening. Again, he knew that difficulty 5 was his own level of difficulty. So, why didn't he go and see what monsters were on difficulty 10? Looking at Kid, Lu Chen was also surprised. You should know about the difficulty gate from Kira, right? 35. If Kira didn't make it clear, I can tell you the rules of this training dojo again. You don't need to explain. 99. Kid waved his hand. I just wanted to see how scary the difficulty 10 people are. It is good. Seeing Kid's fearless appearance, Lu Chen gave him a thumbs up. For example, 070. If the former Luffy is because the ignorant is not guilty, and the smoker is because he wants to gamble. Then Kid is completely aware that there are tigers in the mountains and prefers the tigers to the mountains. This situation. It is generally called death. I admire your courage. Lu Chen raised his right hand and rubbed his 3 fingers together. Crack. A finger snap sounded. Kid has been teleported into the arena. The one that appeared opposite him was. This is. Seeing this character appearing, Lu Chen was stunned. Egg-like eyes. Overall silver and black body. There is a red embellishment on the chest. Ultraman Noah. A time. Lu Chen was completely shocked and confused. This is not to say that Ultraman Noah does not deserve to appear in difficulty 10. But because this training dojo has more and more people coming in. It seems that the characters that appear are getting more and more strange. Or, the characters in your mind can be embodied in this training dojo. This is really an existence that I can't think of. 99. Noah Altman. Ultraman, who exists in the legend, is a legendary giant who has guarded the universe since ancient times, a giant of light with the ability to travel through time and space. It is also one of the mysterious 4 Austrians who have been selected as the ceiling of Ultraman's combat power in the mouth of Austrian fans. He recalled the information in his mind a little. Lu Chen looked in Kid's direction. There was a hint of pity in his eyes. It seems that your luck is really bad. At this time, Noah Ultraman did not show his height of over 50 meters, but incarnate into the height of ordinary people. Kid, Lu Chen introduced Ultraman Noah to Kid according to his own rules. Your opponent is Ultraman Noah from another world, having power beyond all existence. Noah's wing behind him has the power of time and space, in short. Having said that, Lu Chen paused for a moment. At this moment, he wanted to prepare some metal for him in the arena. However, this idea was just thinking about it and he gave up. Facing Noah Ultraman, I am afraid that all the people in the entire One Piece world together may not be able to fight. Instead of breaking the rules for Kid, there is no way for him to win. Rather than that, good luck. Competition, start. Crack. With another snap of fingers, Noah Ultraman's eyes have been placed on Kid's body. Are you my opponent? Yes, it's me. Kid didn't realize the seriousness of the problem at all. He raised his hands. The railings and other metals in the arena were rolled up by him, forming 2 huge metal arms above his arms. Death to lousy. Kid growled. Hit Ultraman Noah while hitting him. However, Kid's fist directly penetrated Ultraman Noah's body. Even, the whole person directly passed through the past. Kid can clearly perceive that this is not because Ultraman Noah's speed is too fast for him to perceive. It's that Ultraman Noah's body doesn't seem to exist in this time and space. This point, Kid does not feel deeply. It was very touching when it was replaced by Lu Chen. His Kamui space is basically the same trick Noah is using today. Only, Noah's space conversion is direct to another universe. His abilities are completely incomparable to Noah Ultraman's space. What trick is this? Why does it feel like he's not in this world? Kid penetrates Noah Ultraman, hit the ground with a punch. The entire fist sank deeply into the ground of the arena. Look back. A confused expression appeared on his face. What kind of fruit power is this? A time. Kid is completely out of the way. Face such an enemy. Not to fight, not to fight. Totally caught in a dilemma. However, before Kid knew what was going on, he has returned directly to the auditorium. Looking at this unfamiliar environment, Kid looked around. A puzzled expression appeared on his face. What's going on? What about the weird-looking guy just now? Nothing happened. You just lost. 5. Lu Chen glanced at Kid. The whole person shrugged. He recalled the scene just now in his mind. Quick. Too fast. And also added the double buff of time and space. If you don't have all the permissions here. Even so, Lu Chen slowed down the moment when Ultraman Noah made his move by tens of thousands of times, so that he could barely see Ultraman Noah's shot, otherwise he couldn't see Ultraman Noah at all. What just did? You just got punched by Ultraman Noah. What? Hearing Lu Chen's words, Kid's face showed shock. I lost, and just got punched and died. The main thing is, why can't I notice it at all? 35. 1.3 If you can detect it. You have even directly crossed the first 9 difficulties and reached the 10th difficulty level. Ultraman Noah, who can fight with the power of time and space, is also the body of Ultraman Noah. At least it is barely enough to reach the difficulty level of 10. To this, Lu Chen was silent. There is no opening to attack Kid. Okay, what's your next difficulty? Kid is still confused. But, he could just let it go. After thinking for a while, I ignored the matter of Ultraman Noah. Let's honestly choose difficulty 5. Very good. 35. Clap. A snap of fingers sounded. Kid is in the arena again. A figure wearing a star-spangled banner appeared across from him. Chapter 177 Shocked. Team America appeared. Kid broke his arm. Captain America, Stephen Grant Rogers. It turned out to be Team America. Seeing Team America appear, Lu Chen showed a stunned expression on his face. It was something he hadn't thought of. Not that Captain America or other Marvel, DC heroes are out of his memory. Rather, Captain America shouldn't be on difficulty 5. Captain America's strength is more due to his strong will. Although he is a genetic warrior, he is only a few times stronger than ordinary people. Of course, this is the situation he originally set, not in those comics that were open for Captain America alone. In terms of strength alone, the strength of the US team is placed in the superpower plane, and if it is not brilliant, it is to give him face. Those high-level existences in Marvel world can indeed kill the One Piece world in seconds. But Team America is not in this category. In Lu Chen's view, under the difficulty standard set by himself, the US team should be the strongest in the 4th difficulty level, and cannot reach the level of difficulty 5. Having said that, 99. It's still worth watching. 02. A little thought. Lu Chen said to Kid in the arena. The opponent opposite you is a martial arts master from the other world. Be careful. Lu Chen also understands the rules of the difficulty gate. Reach difficulty 5. Obviously, it means that the strength of the US team has been raised. Moreover, although the US team said that there is no place that is too brilliant in the superpower world, and there is no obvious weakness corresponding to it, even if Kid can win, it will not be too easy. Crack. A snap of fingers sounded. Lu Chen's voice sounded again. Competition, start. With the words of Lu Chen, Captain America's eyes slowly opened, and his azure blue pupils directly locked on Kid in front of him. Are you my opponent? This sentence again. This time, Kid is obviously a lot more honest. Did not rush out the first time. It was the weird-looking person just now, and after saying this, he killed him. He didn't even know how he was killed. It is truly painless and unconscious. The fruit ability activates. The iron railings around the arena were taken over by Kid again. It directly converged into two huge arms made of steel. In this way, there was a hint of doubt on Kid's face. As someone who has just been killed by a world person, he doesn't even know how to be killed. Even if he knew that an opponent of difficulty 5 could not be compared with an opponent of difficulty 10, caution and caution were still engraved in his mind. Therefore, Kid fell in love with Team America's vibranium shield at first sight, and this time the ability to activate is mainly to deprive Team America's vibranium shield. But, why can't his own abilities work against Team America's shock shield? Are you wondering why you didn't take away my shield? Captain America spoke at the right time. He said flatly, "That's because, I don't want it to get into your hands." 35. In a word, Kid who said it directly was speechless. At the same time, he also understood the meaning of Captain America's words. His magnetic fruit was not ineffective, but was resisted by the US team. Could it be that the people of the otherworld are all monsters? Such results, although understandable at the ideological level. But it still feels unbelievable. That's a strong magnet. If it is used a little more evil, it can even crush the super powerful ability of the dead at any time. Die. Compare Kid's surprise and disbelief. The US team is very calm. Holding a shield, he rushed directly to Kid. The whole person burst out with a strong fighting spirit. The speed was raised to the highest level in an instant. With a vibranium shield in hand, hit Kid directly. It's really self-righteous. Seeing Team America do that. Kid's whole face burst into a smile. It's outrageous enough that Captain America can forcefully control the vibranium shield without being sucked away. Does he still want to get close to his strong magnetic source? A thought here. Disdain rose on Kid's face. Magnetic. Attract. With a roar, the super magnetic force appeared on his hands again. This time, Kid is bound to suck away Team America's vibranium shield. But, when the US team faced this super magnetic force, it was unusually calm. With the help of this magnetism, just throw the shield out. Whoa, the shield is like a sharp knife. Coupled with Kid's own magnetic attraction, it creates a great acceleration for it. Even Kid has reacted. While controlling body movement, use magnetic interference. An arm was still cut off by this shield. Hey, pain instantly spread throughout the body. Kid took a deep breath. But, he was not knocked down by pain and the loss of an arm. Fruit ability reopened. An arm composed entirely of steel appeared over the missing right arm. It also includes Team America's vibranium shield. Out of the corner of his eye glanced at the vibrating gold shield, Kid said. Good guy. The material of this thing is amazing. Of course great. Captain America wanted to take advantage of Kid's broken arm and directly kill Kid. However, he found that Kid had no effect at all because of the broken arm. He even got his vibranium shield. Had to stop at this point. This is what Genjin materials do, and 070 is the highest crystallization of our world's technology. 35. The highest crystallization of your world's technology. Isn't it an alien meteorite? Even if you take a step back, it is a special resource of Wakanda, right? In the audience, at this time, Lu Chen's food is getting more and more abundant. In order to welcome the arrival of the US team, specially transformed into a hamburger, a box of French fries, ketchup, and cola is a direct match. The next French fries, by the way, the fries you forgot to dip in ketchup. Every time Lu Chen eats fries, he always forgets to dip them into the sauce that comes with the restaurant. When I get to myself, I can also think of the sauce. But when eating, still forget. Eye shift. Lu Chen looked at the arm constructed of metal. There was also a speechless expression on his face. I thought that if I was there, the matter of your broken arm would probably disappear. Whether it will appear in the real world will not be said for the time being. Instead, you first experience the experience of Yang Guo. You just don't know if you have a little dragon girl. Lu Chen's expression was slightly speechless. But that's fine too. If he would still go to death to challenge Shanks, it would be considered early to adapt now. After complaining, Lu Chen turned his head again to look in the direction of the US team. I lost the Genjin shield, but only got an arm from the opponent. It seems that the US team is going to lose. Chapter 178 Genjin Shield. Thor. The snap of the arena. Although the battle damage ratio seems to be that Kid lost an arm, and Captain America just lost his weapon, how can it be seen that Captain America has earned it? But the crux of the matter is that Kid, his arm has always been an auxiliary function. What he really uses in combat is his mechanical arm composed of magnetic force. After so many years of using the power of the fruit, losing his arm may be uncomfortable, but it will definitely not cause his combat power to drop significantly. And Team America is different. Although his vibranium shield is only an auxiliary function. But without the vibranium shield, how can he break Kid's defense? Kid's robotic arm is used for defense. Captain America can only passively attack Kid's robotic arm. Thus, only Captain America's body was damaged. Kid is almost non-destructive consumption. And, Kid also received a vibranium shield. This wave of trading is completely a loss for the US team. Ha ha ha, I don't want to give it, doesn't it end up in my hands? Kid took the vibranium shield that had absorbed the power of the fruit in his hand. Feeling the strength of the Genjin shield, a stunned expression appeared on his face. Is it so strong? It's no wonder that you'd rather be endured with a powerful magnet than give it up. Having said this, Kid smiled slightly. However, it belongs to me now. So what? Captain America spoke indifferently. He didn't give up. It's not because he's just a phantom. Even if the US team is exchanged, it is the same. The Genjin shield could be regarded as his signboard, or even a business card. But, losing the vibranium shield is about the same. Almost every time he fights, he loses his vibranium shield, or loses his vibranium shield. Drink. A loud shout. Captain America seized the opportunity for Kid to speak, and the opportunity to slack off rushed directly in front of Kid at a very fast speed. Raise your right fist high. Suddenly smashed towards Kid's head. Let me try it out. Will your shield work well? To this situation, Kid threw the shield directly in front of him. Clang. 99. There was a sound like a gong being struck. Captain America took a few dozen steps back. Looking at his expression, it was hard to imagine how much damage the punch just caused him. Kid also looked surprised. The punch from Team America just now was even more powerful than the punch from the huge robotic arm he had gathered with the power of the fruit. Such a powerful trick, not to mention a small shield. Even pacifists suffer. However, this vibrating gold shield was unscathed. Not even the slightest scratches on the paint surface. Good baby. Kid sighed. The expression is also a little sad. It's just a pity that it can't be taken out. Ha ha. In the audience, Chen finished his fries. Looking at the ketchup left on the table fell into contemplation. Good guy. Wasted. I think so too. 55. If you can take out the material like vibrating gold, Franky will be very happy. Unfortunately, this is just an illusion. Although I can simulate vibration gold, I can't make vibration gold. The next battle becomes boring. Although the US team still occupies a strength advantage. But in the face of Kid's mechanical arm and the defense of the vibranium shield, it was helpless. Although Kid can't do damage to the flexible US team in a short time. But his physical strength is not covered. The two of them fought back and forth for countless rounds. In the end, Captain America still couldn't stand being beaten, and he had to get a damage bonus from the shock of the metal's rebounding force. Down completely. Cool. In the audience, Kid came back here with a happy face. This is especially true of the right arm that he has lost and recovered. Such a fight doesn't cost anything. How can you be unhappy? Congratulations. 35. Chen applauded. Clap. A finger snap sounded across. Chen and Kid are back in front of the difficulty gate. You wait here. I'm going to write you a training plan. Hearing Chen's words, he didn't wait for Chen to open his legs. Kid stopped him. Wait a minute. What? Chen was puzzled and looked at Kid. What's the situation? Are you going to have a training plan? How is this possible? Kid outright denied it, looking at Chen like a fool. Don't you forget that if you challenge the low-level difficulty 3 times in a row, you can get the high-level training plan. Depend on. Really forgot. Chen cursed inwardly. The training plan is based on what you want to do. He really forgot about it. But, he really did not expect that Kid would actually want to challenge one after another. People in the past just gave up because the difficulty was too high. Kid is also the first person who wants to try it. Backquote. Of course I didn't forget, but do you really want to continue the challenge? Also, you only have one last challenge left, not 3 at all, right? Certainly. Kid nodded nonchalantly. He wants to get stronger. Also want a hearty battle. This training dojo can also completely guarantee that he will not be injured. Simply the best place to fight. After experiencing a battle, he even learned something from it. Even without getting stronger, nor will he give up the fight here. The battle here is so much fun. And there is no need to worry about the danger of life, and even the injury is directly avoided. There are 3 chances in total, of course we can't waste them. I see. Chen stopped as he walked towards the 5 gates of difficulty. Looking at Kid with interest. So, what difficulty are you going to challenge for your 3rd challenge? This. Of Zhao's, I'll think about it. Kid put his hand on his chin thoughtfully. He didn't have the slightest intention of concealing it, and even said what was in his heart. According to the rules, my strength is difficulty 5, and this can also be found from the challenge just now. In addition, difficulty 10 is absolutely impossible to beat. Kid babbled for a while. Chen was not in a hurry. It's a bit boring to only challenge difficulty 5. Decided. After talking to himself for a while. Kid finally decided on the fork. I choose to challenge difficulty 6, and it is a battle that surpasses my own strength. If you win, you can get more rewards, and if you lose, there will be a guaranteed level of difficulty 5. Why not do it? Nice choice and judgment. Chen praised. Crack. 35. A snap of fingers sounded. Kid has arrived in the arena. His opponent is Thor. Chapter 179 The Runaway Nurse, Armament Hockey. Good guy, you just left Team America, and you're going to fight Thor again. Seeing the people who appeared, Chen was shocked. Does this have anything to do with Marvel World? Could it be that the random rules of this training dojo are based on the opponent's character? The Marvel World gives the impression that it is refreshing. It cannot be said that there is no too profound plot, mainly because the main selling point is refreshing. The plot is naturally lacking. Of course, that's not all. Such a perfect match with Kid's character, which made Lu Chen have such a conjecture. It seems that there is something beautiful. Unconsciously, Lu Chen summoned a set of burgers and fries again. This time, he had ketchup on his first bite of fries. As the saying goes, sweat drops to the ground. It can't be wasted. Even if it's virtual, it won't work. Self-warned. Lu Chen spoke again. This time, he directly received his voice into the arena. Kid, your opponent this time is still someone from Otherworld. 5. His ability is lightning, be careful. Compared to the US team, Thor is stronger, also more destructive. Even, Kid's metal has completely become a conductive material in front of Thor. Perfect restraint in ability. If it is said that 070 difficulty 6 itself is not the difficulty that Kid should slam, then Thor, the opponent, is the worst of the bad cards. Competition. Start. Crack. Accompanied by a snap of fingers, the sound resounded throughout the arena. Thor's eyes slowly raised and looked at Kid opposite. Are you my opponent? This time, Kid didn't respond. Thunder and lightning, but the ability he was most afraid of, was also the ability to restrain him the most. After all, his ability is magnetism. That is, metal. This ability is basically invincible in his opinion, but now it seems that it has completely turned into a useless thing that adds trouble to himself. Even, in order to beware of Thunder God's thunder and lightning, he did not use his own power. Kill. An angry growl came from his mouth. Thor swung the sledgehammer in his hand and charged directly at Kid. The whole body has been surrounded by endless thunder. Hey, seeing this, Lu Chen has lost interest. Although the current Thor is only the first Thor. But that's enough. Weak in strength, restrained in ability. Most importantly, Kid hasn't learned hockey yet. Even Lu Chen didn't know how Kid was going to win. Pity that, but he's also a very interesting person. 5. On the field, Kid can be said to be timid. But, facing the approaching Thor, Kid also had to make a move. Watching Thor's hammer ability activate. Magnetic. Suck. However, Kid finds himself unable to attract Thor's hammer. How come? Bang. Kid was just shocked when he was hit by a hammer and flew out, directly crashing into the arena next to him. Nothing will not. 35. Thor looked at Kid and responded calmly. Although my hammer is indeed made of metal. 35. But this is a hammer with divine power, and I need my approval or the fearless spirit to save the world if I want to move it. 99. It is impossible to use it just by virtue of its ability. Last resort. Also failed. Kid's results can be imagined. While being beaten by Thor, one side was electrocuted by Thor. The only credit is that he didn't surrender until his death. The game was not over until the body was completely burned by the electric current and burned to death. In the audience, Lu Chen had already cleared the table where he was eating. When Kid came back, he raised his right hand. Crack. After a snap of fingers, the two came to the difficulty gate again. Are you satisfied now? Kid didn't know what to say for a while. I was completely devastated. Wait here. I'll go and come back. Talking. Lu Chen ACBD walked into the door of difficulty 5 without looking back. System. Customize. Train Eustace Kid. Get GARP level armament hockey. Done. Lu Chen began to wait. Before long, the sound of the system sounded. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Eustace Kid. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket training goal. Get GARP level armament hockey. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Smash 6 mountains. Close black lens bracket. Is this still the case? Lu Chen pondered for a moment. Kid can use magnetic fruit to increase the strike area. However, even so, it would take a very long time to do it. According to Lu Chen's guess, about 2 years. Perhaps longer than the other 600 days. It's a good way to kill time. In response, Lu Chen laughed unkindly. Immediately go out the door. Looking at Kid in front of him, he slowly said, your training plan is to smash 6 mountains, and there is no time limit. Talking room. Lu Chen and Kid have gradually left the illusion. Once again came to the Kid pirate's ship. What? Kid was confused. Break the 6 mountains. Are you kidding? This question, Lu Chen has encountered countless times. This time, as always, he didn't intend to respond. The figure disappeared directly on the Kid pirate ship. Hey, 35. Give a. Kid looked at Lu Chen who disappeared in front of him, and the whole person was speechless. Okay. 9. I want to see what it can bring me after smashing 6 mountains. At the same time, Lu Chen did not leave, but returned to the Sabayati archipelago. Luffy and others are gone. But Thousand Sunny is still there. And, he also didn't think Marine would take the initiative to provoke him. That's it. The wait is 8 days. Ding. Detected that the current training plan is completed. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Bartholomew Bear. Close black lens bracket. Training result. Successful. Close black lens bracket. Ding. Host has acquired new skills. Soul melting Dafa incomplete version. Method of controlling the soul incomplete version. Meatball fruit ability. Close black lens bracket. What? Listen to the sound of the system. Lu Chen was directly confused. Does Shang, according to his own understanding, add the ability of the flesh ball fruit to the means of breaking the soul? Only with this explanation can we understand why Lu Chen obtained the flesh ball fruit. Thinking of this, Lu Chen quickly glanced at his hands. He was relieved after seeing that there were no meatballs on his hands. However, a thoughtful thought appeared on his face. In this case, it will save me a lot of trouble. Perhaps, I can take this time to prepare a training plan for everyone. Chapter 180 A new round of training plans. At this time, everyone's training plan has basically been completed, or is in the stage of completion. Luffy's third gear is fully mastered. Zoro is also inspired by the rescue of celestial dragon slaves. Sanji's power even has the ability to open fifth gate. Nami's IV.4 can also be put on the agenda. Robin has completely mastered the power of ripples. Usopp has already done research that can destroy Iron Body. Chopper also did not arrange a training plan for it because he had been running out of time. Franky has acquired pacifist material, and strengthening Thousand Sunny is a certainty. Brook's perception of Huang Quan is also a preliminary understanding, and he has obtained the Fire of Hell. There are Luffy, Sanji, Nami, Robin, Usopp, Chopper, Brook who can train directly now. Zoro's Bankai is also coming to an end. Franky just needs to study the materials thoroughly to be able to reinforce Thousand Sunny. It can be said, this round of training for the Straw Hat Pirates has already been preliminarily completed. The next round of training can be entered immediately, and it is also the arrival of the 2-year rest period. Originally, Chen was still thinking about how he could help everyone train. At this time it seems, according to his guess, that is the past of sailing the islands one by one. It's a waste of time, but it's still a trip. Now it seems that there is absolutely no need to do so. The ability of the meatball fruit is enough to make him move quickly. Then, all that's left is to think about what to do for them. At this time, Chen was on Thousand Sunny. Slowly spread out your right hand. Chen slapped a bottle in front of him and slapped it. Tisk, isn't the proficiency of the meatball fruit enough? The position is off. Thus, it took Chen a few days to get acquainted with the meatball fruit. This is the way to use the rebound ability of the meatball fruit to be familiar. Although it is said that he is not as skilled as a bear, it is enough if he only uses this point to act. When the preparations were completely finished, Chen looked up at the sky. Calculate the time. Luffy should have arrived at Impel Down, right? Impel Down. The third floor. Luffy came across Mr. Point 3 and Buggy here. After Buggy training is complete, his strength has even reached the level of a supernova, and it is not even worse than the current Luffy. However, it is still a chess move. Or bad luck, I met Kizaru directly. Considering the dangers of Chop Chop Fruit, the possibility of escape is simply too great. Was thrown into starvation hell on the third floor. Caught in Impel Down. When Buggy saw Luffy, it could be said that his teeth tickled. A-hole. 9. Talking room. Buggy's hand just disappeared. This is not really disappearing, but the state of being split into small meatballs that are almost invisible to the naked eye. Go straight to Luffy's body. Boom. 35. A muffled sound. Although Buggy's attack is fast and accurate. But helpless, now Luffy has armament hockey. Did not break defense. Looking at Buggy's sudden attack, Luffy was slightly dissatisfied. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you too embarrassed to ask? Buggy was P**********D. All the treasures he's worked so hard to collect have been taken away by Luffy. Although not Luffy himself. But according to the rules of the sea, if the crew made a mistake, the captain was punished. It's not wrong that Luffy is his enemy. And, when he thought of how he was bullied by the Straw Hat Pirates, Buggy burst into tears. It was so painful. It's so painful. Fractured. Piano wire. There was a murderous look on Buggy's face again. This is his newly researched trick. The principle is similar to the name. Piano wire, a wire that connects piano keys to sound transmission. Because of its sturdiness, if it is used by someone with a heart, it is not a problem to kill. Even the person being cut may not be able to detect it. Buggy is now planning to use his almost invisible flesh to form fine lines and then dismember his opponent. That's why this trick is called piano wire. UB***********D. Luffy dodged Buggy's tricks, and he couldn't stand Buggy's repeated attacks. Armament hockey overlay. Open the third gear directly. The huge fist hits Buggy directly. It's amazing to be bigger. You think I'm afraid of you. Buggy is also not to be outdone. Controlling the right arm that turned itself into countless fragments, it also formed a large fist in midair, half empty and half solid. 0. For flowers. Hit Luffy directly. Bang. 2 fists punched together. Luffy's fist was noticeably stronger. Plus there is the blessing of armament hockey. In one fell swoop, the fist that looked as if the dots were connected was deformed. Left hand raised. Another punch. Buggy just flew out. At this time, Buggy jumped again. He disbanded his body as if he was nothing. The countless pieces of meat, as well as the dots formed by other parts of the body, seemed to form a bee colony at this moment. This posture. I swear to my death to fight Luffy. Luffy is naturally not to be outdone. 0. 0. The entire body is directly giant. This is his complete body in the third gear. The flesh body swells to the limit and directly incarnates into a 30-meter-high giant. At this time, Luffy also had a temper. Must kill Buggy. Wait a moment. Just at this time, Mr. Point 3 quickly ran to the middle of the two. With a flattering expression, he said, 2 eldest brothers, are you here to fight? Now our main purpose, isn't it to escape? Yes. Buggy returns to his physical form. A clear look appeared on his face. Forget it, fighting with UB asterisk 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 D can only be a waste of energy. At this time, where does Buggy's face have the stance that he just wanted to go all out? Luffy on the other side also receded from jauntization. With a worried expression on his face. Ace, I'm here to save Ace. Seeing the two relax, Mr. Point 3 breathed a sigh of relief. These two are the capital for him to escape. Since everyone wants to escape, why don't you listen to me? At the same time, after calculating the time, Chen, who was about half a month away from Ace's execution, was no longer by the Thousand Sunny boat. Instead, he started his own action using the flesh ball fruit. Now, he lay in the protective film formed by the flesh ball fruit, after a period of sailing. At this time, an island has appeared in front of him. Looking at this familiar island, Chen's face showed a hint of clarity, as the place where I came this time, the island of plants. Chong. Chapter 181 The Summit War is coming, the terrifying plant island. The island of plants is not an island composed of plants, but an island of giant plants. The whole island is a giant carnivorous plant. It looks really spectacular. Standing in the air, Chen looked down at the island below. If he hadn't known in advance, Chen wouldn't have known that it was a plant, not an island. A completely closed loop ecosystem composed of huge plants. It's outrageous that an entire ecosystem of plants like this one that devours an entire island can develop. The creatures on the island are protected by this huge plant, and the huge plant devours some of the animals at regular intervals to supplement for themselves. A plant the size of an island, only relying on the animals on the island, the energy is absolutely not enough. A larger part of the energy still has to rely on the underground rhizomes to obtain from this planet. These 070 animals that it raised on plants are really just a snack, with changing tastes for this island. An entire island is one plant. While talking, Chen tightened his nose. Saliva flowed out involuntarily. The memory of Usopp on this island came to mind. If you just smell the fragrance, it's not even weaker than the food made by Sanji. Maybe there are addictive substances that are similar to poisons secreted by the island of plants. No wonder there is such a big temptation. While talking, Chen entered the island of plants. Just entered the island of plants. The huge temptation that is almost a peerless beauty standing in front of him swept over. The surrounding aura was more than 10 times stronger than before. It was all about attracting Chen. This, Chen resisted the throbbing and appetite in his heart. Resisted not to eat the food on the island of plants. The most important thing now is to find Usopp and set the next goal for him. After about 5 minutes of battle between heaven and man, Chen finally suppressed his huge appetite seduced by the island of plants. Terrible. This kind of temptation is really terrifying. 99. Shaking his head slightly, Chen closed his eyes. After brewing for a while, he opened his eyes again. The search and search ability of Shui Lunyan is far weaker than that of Bian. However, it also has this function. Especially since there is only one human on this island, Usopp. It's not too difficult to find. Under the search of blood wheel eyes, Chen quickly locked on the target. The ability of the meatball fruit is activated. Chen has the same ability as Moonwalk, using the air condensed from the meatball as a pedal, allowing Chen to move in midair. Blood wheel eyes search ability is still weaker, and its accuracy is also much worse. Although the approximate orientation is locked. But Chen still searched for a while to find Usopp. At this time, Usopp was trying to eat everything on the island as if he had not eaten for more than 10 days. Hello. A familiar voice was heard. Usopp's ears twitched. He raised his head and looked in Chen's direction with a slightly confused look. After seeing Chen, tears filled his eyes instantly. However, even so, he still did not drop the food in his hand. Chen, save me. Usopp's words are simple, that is to let Chen help him get rid of this island. He already knew that his situation was absolutely abnormal. No matter how greedy you are, it is impossible for you to be greedy. I can't even stop after seeing my friends. I can't save you from this. Chen shook his head. At the same time, Chen doesn't blame Usopp for his lack of determination. Even he himself was almost attracted to the plant, let alone Usopp. But, the food on this botanical island may be addictive, but definitely not too much. Otherwise, Usopp wouldn't look like a post-fitness Usopp in 2 years. Also, this island can be regarded as an island of trials. Being able to overcome the temptation of this island can be regarded as a significant improvement in your spiritual and physical levels. Quote. Usopp swallows the food in his hands, looking at Chen pitifully. At this point he has been supported. However, it can't stop. As if the island wanted to keep him. What about Luffy's side? Aren't we going to go on an adventure together? How could it be possible to stay here all the time? Hear this from Usopp. Chen was silent for a while. He can't say that he can go to sea in 2 years, can he? After all, it was after the Summit War that Luffy felt that he and the ship were not strong enough to make the decision. Come and save me, just take me out of this pile of food, and I can get out. No, Chen shook his head. I can't think of a good way to explain it for a while. Just stay here for now. It's a waste to give up such a good place to improve your strength. I'll be back to pick you up when the sailing begins. Hear Chen explain this. Usopp can only accept fate. At the same time, he is also actively trying to get rid of the temptation of food on this island. By the way, I have completed the training you designed for me before, when will I move on to the next stage? 5. Can it break Iron Body's bullets? In fact, this mission ended as early as the capital of the Seven Seas. However, Lu Chen has not had time to formulate the next training for Usopp. Now, just before Marine has announced the identity of Ace, Summit War will need some time in the middle of the time to improve everyone's strength. That's why I came to you. 35. Lu Chen just said the words. Earth-shaking changes have taken place on the plant island. The whole island suddenly began to shake violently. What's going on here? Usopp looked around blankly. What's wrong? The island is going to eat 1.3 meals, or in other words, the island is going to eat snacks. Lu Chen took a deep breath. Grab Usopp in one hand. The ability of the meatball fruit is activated. A huge meatball wrapped the two of them in it. It is worth mentioning that Usopp came and took a few fruits with him. How can this make me believe that you can overcome the temptation this island brings? Facing Lu Chen's question, Usopp scratched his head in embarrassment. He has this heart and also has this idea. However, it would be difficult for him to do so. After all, it takes time to get rid of addictive things. Roar, ow, right now, painful voices sounded. The animals, plants, all the existences that can make sounds on the island are screaming and opening their mouths. Chapter 182 Usopp's new training, get unlimited swords. Please customize, please complete. The whole island began to mutate. It's moving. The original flat ground began to turn into a sloping ramp, and the animals that were visible to the naked eye panicked. But, most animals can't respond at all. They have all been fed by the plant island into a fat man who can't react quickly at all. Quickly, they seem to have transformed into a ball-like thing, rolling down the ramp. The center of the island. A bloody mouth opened wide. That huge mouthpiece is more than 10 kilometers wide. Vaguely, you can see what's inside through that huge mouthpart. Plants, after all, are just plants. It does not have biological organs, and some have only some acid water. Bubbling, strong acid that can directly dissolve even bones. However, this is enough. Many animals fell directly into their mouthparts. Elephants more than 10 meters long. Tiger, the king of the forest. The lion king of the grass. These animals, which can be regarded as high-level predators among animals, are directly dissolved the moment they fall into the acid water O2. Even the bones disappeared in an instant. Usopp, who was hiding with Lu Chen in the bubbles condensed from the hairball fruit, directly grabbed Lu Chen's feet. Frightened face. The bubbles won't break, will they? At this time, the changes on the island are not over yet. Everything on the island seems to be transformed into a flower. Only, not intended to bloom, but because of shyness, the flower that intends to close. Those ramps were straight up at this point. Close slowly. Directly shrouded the sky completely. For a while, it turned completely dark. Go down this one. At least 30% of the animals on the island were devoured by it. As this eating the sky. Listen to Usopp. Lu Chen almost laughed out loud. It should be said that the main character of Usopp deserves to be the main funny character. This brain hole is really big. If so, we'll see in a while. It wasn't long before Lu Chen's voice fell. There was a ray of light in the sky. This light is like the dawn before dawn, illuminating this world. Soon, the island has changed again. Gradually, restored as before. It's as if what the island devoured just now didn't happen. Do you still want to eat? Wait until it all calms down. Lu Chen controlled the air balloon and landed on the flat ground. 35. Usopp nodded, then quickly shook his head. He had seen with his own eyes what would happen to those creatures who had eaten fat. No, don't eat. Lu Chen shook his head. It's not good if you don't eat. If you don't eat, you will be starved to death, and when the island eats, you will be eaten. How about that? Usopp sat down on his knees in desperation. Suddenly, I thought of Lu Chen, and looked at Lu Chen as if asking for help. Take me away, change place, I will definitely train well. That doesn't work. Although Lu Chen didn't speak, he also denied it in his heart. This place, but the most suitable training place for Usopp. Because this is the place chosen by the old thief, no matter how much we, make fun of the old thief for not understanding One Piece, he is just a manga artist. However, when it comes to the plot, it is still necessary to respect it. The fruits and food here are more nutritious than food in other places because of the nourishment of the plant island. As long as you have perseverance and self-control, not only will you not die here, but you can even rely on the food here to quickly become stronger. Lu Chen didn't plan to save himself. Usopp was a little desperate. Lu Chen didn't give him the time to despair at all, or he didn't intend to continue to pay attention to him at all. System, customize, train Usopp, get unlimited swordsmanship. Usopp has inherited the magic circuit. Then, this time, it is natural to learn the infinite sword system. This is a very good ability. Imitate, copy, it doesn't matter if it is super or not. I can fight with you with 100 imitations, but you have only one genuine product. That's the rascal of Infinity Sword. Put it on Usopp. He can also rely on this infinite sword system to make his favorite bullets. Instead of growing your own plants to get seeds, or thinking about how to get Sky Island shells. Usopp will be completely freed from thinking about how to solve the problem of running out of consumables such as bullets. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Usopp. Close black lens bracket. Training goal. To obtain unlimited sword control. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Run 10 kilometers a day for 600 days. Close black lens bracket. Usopp. Low. Lu Chen, who got the training plan, looked at Usopp again. Usopp thought that Lu Chen had changed his mind and planned to take him away. A flattering expression appeared on his face. I knew Lu Chen that you didn't plan to give up your friends. Do not. Lu Chen decisively refused. The ability of the meatball fruit is activated. A wall of air separates him from Usopp. Have to say. The ability of this meatball fruit is indeed very useful and practical. You'd better wait here for news from Luffy. My new training for you is, run 10 kilometers a day for 600 days. 35. Usopp was taken aback when he heard Lu Chen's words. To be honest, this training is not that difficult. The physical fitness of the One Piece world is generally much higher. What's more, because he has been deceiving people from the 070 series since he was a child, the average running distance every day is even more than 10 kilometers. Only, his situation is different now. He is now on the cannibal island Plant Island. Originally, according to his idea, eat less, and then hide. Lu Chen's training plan is all about making him crazy on the Plant Island. Eat, drink, and work out like crazy. However, this is very dangerous. There is even a great risk of losing your life. Lu Chen. Usopp tapped against the wall of air between her and Lu Chen. We are partners. You can't treat us like this. 99. Lu Chen. However, how could Lu Chen go to Usopp? This guy, at some point, has a stronger aura than the protagonist Luffy. How could it be possible to die on a regular island like Plant Island? Meatball fruit start. Lu Chen disappeared in front of Usopp. All that was left was a desperate Usopp. Okay, very good. After crying for a while, Usopp cheered up and looked at the direction that Lu Chen left. When I go back, I want to open your eyes. At the same time, Lu Chen has come to Sky Island. Or, it is on a movable Sky Island. Lu Chen. Chapter 183 Scientists on Sky Island. Familiar voice. A slightly surprised voice. The one who spoke was a woman with short orange hair and an excellent figure. Who is it, not Nami? However, under her surprised expression, there was still worry and a little urgency. It's me. Lu Chen nodded. These coordinates were obtained from the bear. Because most of them have to walk again, I didn't ask which coordinates were whose coordinates. He didn't expect that the second person he encountered was Nami. How have you been recently? How have you been? Speaking of this issue, Nami instantly became vicious. Raise your fist high. He punched Lu Chen violently. Pity. Kamui launches. Nami's fist fell directly. Hundreds of punches in a row. With the addition of IV.3 feet S Thunderbolt, Lu Chen was still unable to hit. But, Nami didn't care either. She just wanted to vent the anxiety in these days. Okay, let it go. After about 10 minutes of venting, Nami just stopped. Lu Chen saw that Nami was relieved. Cancelled Kamui. Follow Nami out of her room. This is a very lovely island. Peaceful and kind. It is an island where you can completely calm down. Likewise, it is also a treasure trove of knowledge. Because the world of One Piece is different from the world knowledge that Lu Chen knows. Therefore, most of the physical and chemical knowledge that Lu Chen knows is useless in the world of One Piece. Nami wants to improve his sailing skills, but he can't help himself. This Sky Island is where Nami is raised. It is also where Nami can become a qualified One Piece navigator. It feels pretty good here. Why are you so anxious? Good. Really good. Beautiful environment. No worries about eating and drinking. There are even many teachers who can teach her things. It can be said, it is Nami's favorite place. But others don't understand why Nami is restless. How could Lu Chen, who is also a crew member, not understand? There was a look of speechlessness on his face. Nami looked at Lu Chen. You be asterisk 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 D did it on purpose. Of course it was intentional. But I didn't mean to anger you, I just wanted to ease the atmosphere. Right now, 4 or 5 old men who looked like magicians appeared. See the newcomer. There was hostility on his face. They are people who do research. Also the purest person. They don't want to be disturbed. The appearance of Nami made them very angry, but because of Nami's talent, they changed from anger to surprise. They are more than happy to share their knowledge for a gifted child. Thunder, wind, flame, quickly. Based on their own knowledge, these scholars began to mobilize everything they could use. Created a natural disaster. Looking at that level, it's not too low. Speaking of destructive power, each of these old men has at least a supernova, that is, the strength of the 5th level of difficulty. Looking at what happened in front of him, Lu Chen also showed an unexpected expression on his face. I didn't expect this. But, just a supernova, even the 4 emperors, or even a 9-level powerhouse like a dragon, is not a threat in the eyes of today's Lu Chen. Not to mention the existence of a supernova at this level. Don't be stupid. Lu Chen didn't care. It's also impossible to hurt Nami's future teachers. But Nami was still nervous. Although Nami is a crazy girl, she is also a violent woman. But her nature is still kind, and these old men are not bad people. Over the past few days, she has also learned a lot from these old men. This Sky Island is like an endless treasure trove of knowledge. If it weren't for her having to get back on the Luffy ship as soon as possible, Nami really wanted to stay here for a while to supplement his lack of maritime knowledge. Don't take action, everyone is their own. Nami panicked and tried to explain. However, the old men on Sky Island have already shot. The thunder that covered the sky had already appeared above Lu Chen's head. The flame that was about to burn everything, accompanied by the blessing of the wind, swept directly towards Lu Chen. Thunder, wind, fire. At this time, he slammed into Lu Chen with the attitude of destroying everything. It's over. Nami raised his forehead, a desperate look. She wasn't worried about Lu Chen. As a partner who has been out to sea for a long time, she still knows something about Lu Chen. These forces are powerful though, but not enough to hurt Lu Chen. On the contrary, what she was worried about was the old scholars on Sky Island. These are the treasure houses of human knowledge. To die is a catastrophic loss, and it is a loss for the entire human race. Thunder disappeared. The strong winds and huge waves of fire died out, revealing Lu Chen inside. The entire Sky Island was instantly silent. Not to mention hurting Lu Chen. It didn't even make Lu Chen's clothes wrinkled. How can it be so strong? What ability is this? The old scholars of Sky Island were instantly stunned. At the same time, it also stimulated their fighting spirit even more. Call everyone on the island and say that an intruder is coming. Call up. Nami stepped forward quickly and punched directly on the head of the old man who spoke. Just one punch made the old man dizzy. A shriveled face. What's wrong, Nami? We are protecting you. Protect me. Hearing the old man say that, Nami was taken aback. Another old man next to him spoke again. Yes, didn't you say that you were a wanted criminal before? This guy is here to arrest you at first sight. Actually, is that so? Nami was a little moved. But this touch disappeared instantly. That also means that you haven't heard what I just said, is it, of Zhao's? 35. Did you just speak? What did you say? Really? A black line appeared on Nami's forehead. The whole person showed the appearance that he was about to go berserk. I mean, he's my buddy. Ding ding dong dong. After a bloody storm, the old people on Sky Island all looked like they had blue noses and swollen faces. He looked at Nami slightly aggrieved. It's kind of cute like that. Nami does this for a reason. On the one hand, she really wanted to beat people to consume the depressed fork in her heart. Second, he was afraid that Lu Chen would be provoked and hurt these old people. So, if you know now, why don't you go quickly? If I don't leave, I plan to leave with him and not study with you. 99. Don't. Hear the threat from Nami. The old people on Sky Island waved their hands again and again. Since it's your friend, that's fine. Chapter 184. The irascible Nami, the victim of Sky Island. Then, let's leave first. Talking. The old people on Sky Island left one after another. However, the speed of leaving is a little slow. Step 3 back. Step 3 back. It was a minute after speaking. Only a few meters away. If you want to be beaten, then here I am. 99. Talking. Nami was about to catch up with his fists. This completely scared the old people away. But, she also felt the warmth. The reason why the old people are like this. Mainly worried about her safety. Actually, it's fine if you're here. That's right. However, I can't stay here forever. Nami's own thoughts are also very clear. Since you're here, shouldn't we go back? Nami looked at Lu Chen expectantly. Although it was only a short time ago, her mind was full of the scenes from Thousand Sunny. Although it is not a pleasant relationship. Even very angry on weekdays. But, it is such a place. But it's what got her addicted. You still need a navigator, don't you? Navigator, of course I still want it. Lu Chen nodded. However, the purpose of my visit this time is to arrange a new training plan for you. As for picking you up, I didn't think about it. 083. After hearing Lu Chen's words, Nami was stunned. Immediately rushed in front of Lu Chen, intending to grab Lu Chen's collar and shake it. But, Lu Chen's Kamui fired up again. Directly let her flutter. A look of embarrassment appeared on his face. Nami asked irritably, what the hell do you mean? What's the meaning? Of course it's for your own good. But, Lu Chen just thought about it in his heart, and didn't plan to say it. After all, he said that Luffy planned to go out to sea in 2 years. No one will believe it either. Now that Sabayati Archipelago is completely controlled by Marine, we can't go back for a while. If you don't have a boat, how can you go to sea? Instead of taking you back and hiding, it's better to let you stay here, at least for now. You are quite happy, aren't you? 99. To this, Nami didn't say much either. As for when to go back, we have to wait until Marine's defenses are weaker. So, for now, you just stay here and study. As for strength, you don't need to worry too much. I will train you to ACBD V4. The way is step by step. Although it is said that Lu Chen intends to directly train Nami to IV.5, it is not the time yet. The power of leaping too much will also lengthen the time of practice. Lu Chen also doesn't know how long it will take for Nami to reach the level of IV.5 at one time. There was a gleam in his eyes. Lu Chen began to ask the system, customization, training the little thief cat Nami, obtaining the ability and coping ability of the electric shocker IV.4. Following Lu Chen's opening, the system has already started scheduling. Soon, training programs have emerged. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Nami, the little thief cat. Close black lens bracket. Training goal. To obtain the ability to make electric shock LV.4 and the ability to cope. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Enter a state of meditation that completely empties the brain for 6 hours and lasts for 600 days. Close black lens bracket. After hearing the sound of the system, Lu Chen had a headache. LV.4 is so troublesome. So does Nami still have a chance to evolve to IV.5, or even the IV.6 of the electric shocker, which has never appeared in the original work? Inferred from the destructive power. LV.5 is the Emperor's deputy level. If Nami wants to become a combatant, he should at least have the rank of Vice Chancellor. Forget it, the Straw Hat Pirates don't need too many combatants. Single quote. Thought here. Lu Chen shook his head. As a navigator, Nami's LV.4 level of combat power is enough. All she needs is to protect herself. Thinking of this, Lu Chen looked at Nami and smiled. Your training program is a complete mind-emptying meditative state for 6 hours for 600 days. 55. What? Hearing Lu Chen's words, Nami's face showed an almost collapsed expression. 600 days. That's 600 days. And 6 hours of meditation a day. This is not to suffocate a person. Also, where would she have so much time? The previous 2 hours, 4 hours was still able to hold on. But sailing at sea, especially on the Grand Line, was exhausting enough for her. Once in New World, according to the words of the elders of Sky Island, will only be more cumbersome. Where does she have so much time? Are you sure your training plan is something I can complete? 39. Listen to Nami's questioning. Lu Chen instinctively wanted to nod. After all, she has 2 years of free time. But she doesn't know yet. Thinking of this, Lu Chen shook his head slightly. He doesn't know either. Then, as a result, there is only one option. And slime. It's your question whether it's done or not. It doesn't matter to me, I'm just providing a plan. 995. I heard the road car say so. Nami was almost mad. Another punch and kick. Certainly. There is no chance that Lu Chen will be hit. See this. Lu Chen decided to run away quickly. Now that the training plan has been set, I will go first. As for the time to return to the ship in the future, I will pick you up according to the situation on Sabayati Archipelago and Luffy's instructions, or you can return by yourself. Talking. A bubble enveloped Lu Chen's body. He had disappeared in front of Nami. A-hole. Nami went a little crazy. At this time, out of the corner of her vision, there were several old men who were probing their brains. It was the ones who just said they were leaving. They were still worried about Nami's safety. Isn't this bullying? This amount of training can also be done by humans. Nami was talking, while leaning over to the old man's side. Without further ado, let's do it directly. Didn't you say you were leaving? We're worried about you, Nami. Don't fight, stop fighting. We old bones can't stand your fight like this. 99. Wrong, we know it's wrong. For a time, Sky Island had a cheerful atmosphere. Nami feels comfortable, but suffers from the old scholars on Sky Island. At the same time, Lu Chen has come to an island. The island is empty, not even a single creature. Here, where is it? Lu Chen's question just appeared. A tsunami-like momentum instantly pressed down on him. The whole world changed color. You finally came. Chapter 185. Is this the leader of the Revolutionary Army? With this question arises, the whole world has changed. Between the sky and the earth, the clouds are dense. The waters nearby were rough. An apocalyptic vision is in sight. There were not many animals before, but at this moment, they were even more trembling. Gradually, a figure emerged from the shadow. Vaguely, you can see the horrible tattoos on his face. It is the man the world government fears most, the man with the highest bounty, Monkey D. Dragon. Actually, I'm not planning to see you. Lu Chen looked at the dragon that appeared from the shadows. A look of helplessness appeared on his face. He knew that Robin would be rescued by the Revolutionary Army. However, he didn't know whether Robin was on the overwhelmed island or the Revolutionary Army. Moreover, even in the Revolutionary Army, Lu Chen did not think that he would definitely see a dragon. The Revolutionary Army is the biggest threat to the world government, and the flames of revolution spread all over the world. Arguably, with such a large organization, there must be a lot of work to be done as a leader. It is impossible to stay in one place all the time. Originally, I should have gone to South Blue too. The dragon also spoke again at this time. It is true that there is no possibility that he will stay on this island forever. However, Robin's appearance let me know that you will definitely come to Robin, so I just waited here for a few days. For Long's words, Lu Chen was quite speechless, but I don't necessarily come when. So, my luck is not bad. In response, Long shrugged. Can see, he really didn't lie. He doesn't have to lie. In particular, the opponent was Lu Chen, the man who had a tie with him. Looking at the dragon, Lu Chen's eyes showed a trace of thought. So, what is your purpose? It can't be that there was no winner before, waiting for me to fight with me, right? There is indeed an idea in this regard. Dragon nodded. There was no intention of concealing it. There was a hint of war on his face. As the leader of the Revolutionary Army, Long has too many things to do. There are too many things that require him to make decisions. It is logically impossible for such a person to be immersed in the battle. He's not really a fighter either. But he is also a master. And it is one standing at the top of the world. According to Lu Chen's inference, it is even a man who stands at the peak of difficulty 9. Master. Naturally, there is also the dignity of a master. Aggressive and unwilling to be left behind. Naturally, it is also a necessary quality among the masters. A big wave, an endless storm rose from the dragon's body. This storm even caused the surrounding sea area. Let the surrounding waters fall into a waterspout. Let the sea and the sky directly connect together. Spectacular. #T. #. Want to see Robin. 35. Get over me first. But, I don't need to fight you at all. 35. In the face of Long Yong's fighting spirit, Lu Chen didn't answer. As for helping Robin improve, at this time, Lu Chen also wanted to understand. Even without themselves, Luffy and the others can still become one piece, and everyone on the ship can fulfill their dreams. There is no need for everyone to have too much power. Don't be in a hurry. On the contrary, she's even safer with you than on Luffy's ship. I even want to thank you. Hear what Lu Chen said. Long also gradually gathered momentum. Gradually. The waterspout connecting the sea and the sky gradually subsided. The dark clouds above the sky gradually dispersed, revealing the sun hidden inside. It gradually clears up. Long looked bored at Lu Chen. But, he didn't give up either. Looking at Lu Chen, he was very interested. If that's the case, then please go back. Done. The dragon just stood there. Not going to move the body. Looking at the picture of Long, the dead pig is not afraid of boiling water, and if you don't fight him, then it is impossible to see Robin's performance. Lu Chen was speechless. Is this the leader of the revolutionary army? Is this the one that the world government considers the biggest threat? How do you look like a child? If I say this about you, what do you think the world will think of you? 99. It doesn't matter. The dragon is directly rotten. No one else can believe it anyway. It's you instead. Why don't you go now? If you beg me, maybe I will dispatch some revolutionary forces to help you get Thousand Sunny out of the Sabayati archipelago. It seems. You know everything. Also, revolutionary armies spread all over the world. Sabayati archipelago is such a big thing that even celestial dragons were hammered. 0. Ask for flowers. How could the dragon not know? Don't you feel so rude? Robin is my buddy. Long completely ignored Lu Chen's questioning. There was a touch of confidence on his face, and he didn't believe that Lu Chen would really see Robin. Robin is also my partner now. For the safety of the revolutionary army partner, of course I have the right to let her see someone or not. There's nothing wrong with that. But, it still left Lu Chen speechless. This dragon was not like this the last time we met. There was a little speechlessness on his face. Lu Chen said he was afraid. All right, if you have to do it, then come. 35. Of course, this competition is not as real as the last time. After all, you don't want this island to be completely destroyed, do you? Sure. Long readily agreed. A look of happiness appeared on his face. After the last battle with Lu Chen, he gradually gained a deeper understanding of Conqueror's Hockey. Especially Conqueror's Hockey. More so, since it's a competition, then I won't use too much power. 99. The dragon gradually opened his mouth. Hand raised slightly. A small tornado appeared in his palm. Vaguely. At this moment, his palm seemed to be transformed into a dragon claw. Just throw it away. The tornado has already come towards Lu Chen. With the tornado thrown by the dragon. Over time and distance. When it came to Lu Chen, the tornado is already dozens of meters high. Is this not using too much power? Lu Chen complained. The eyes glowed red. Kamui. One command. A Uzumaki acted directly on the tornado. Gradually, the distortion of space completely swept the tornado. That huge tornado that was almost uncontrollable was absorbed by the Kamui space. Disappeared from this world. There is an old saying in my hometown. It's not rude to come and go. Talking. Lu Chen raised his hand. Kamui space was released by him. The tornado changed direction under his control, and rolled directly towards the tornado. Come and taste your own power. Chong. Chapter 186. You told me that this is a competition. As Lu Chen's voice fell, the tornado that was released from the Kamui space went in the direction of the dragon. The core of the tornado did not weaken because it was in the Kamui space, but instead strengthened under the control of Lu Chen. The tornado, which was originally tens of meters high, reached 100 meters when it reached the dragon. That's quite a bit. Long looked at the approaching tornado without too much shock in his tone. Just wave. A ray of light almost invisible to the naked eye has penetrated into the tornado. He is the master of storm and thunder. Nature is very familiar with its own power. Bang. 35. With a muffled sound, the tornado has disappeared. There was a disappointment on Long's face. It's a disappointment. A good attack doesn't want to defeat me, but turns my tricks to attack me. 083. You don't really think it will work for me, do you? Of course I don't think so. Lu Chen also admitted directly. While talking, a red light flashed in his eyes, and the blood wheel eyes were activated. Illusion activated. This is his killer move. Illusion. As someone who has played against Lu Chen and is considered a draw, it can be said that Long is looking forward to Lu Chen extremely. To this end, he gathered all the intelligence he could gather. It even includes Lu Chen's training dojo. After fighting against Lu Chen, Long realized something. At this time, he was stronger and he dealt with it more calmly. Illusions are, after all, optical illusions and misinformation commands from the brain. It's not easy to decipher. In fact, it is not impossible to do so. As long as these sources of interference can be removed. Then it is not unimaginable if it is broken. In the eyes. A streak of brilliance flashed past. The dragon was at the moment when he was just controlled by illusion. He used his own strength to baptize himself in his own body. Can only say, the idea of tricks and the method of cracking tricks are the same, even in different worlds. The experience accumulated in the ninja world for thousands of years is to use chakra to destroy the power operation in the body, so as to get rid of illusion control. What the dragon is doing now is almost the same as that in the ninja world. Is this your counterattack? As he spoke, the dragon's eyes flashed a blue light. It was the source of his power. Or, is this your ultimate move against me? Lu Chen was not surprised to see that his illusion was cracked. It can make a master of the dragon level fall into illusion. He really doesn't have that ability. Even if he has Mangekyo blood wheel eyes. Want to achieve this, even an illusionist of the level of Itachi or Shisui needs to use Izanagi to do it. And Long is a man of firm belief. He has no shame. Izanagi's cracking conditions fit him perfectly, and a firm and worthy dragon will not be caught in Izanagi's infinite loop. It doesn't take long for even the loss of an eye to be cracked by a dragon. Only I lost an eye in vain. It seems that my judgment is correct. Looking at the dragon breaking free from the illusion, Lu Chen spoke indifferently. Illusions have no effect on you. Actually, it can't be said that it doesn't work. For Lu Chen's words, Long did not think so. He did a lot of homework to target Lu Chen's illusion. It is precisely because of this that he thought of using his own energy to destroy the operation of his own power to break the illusion. To deal with you, it took me 2 months to think of a solution. 99. I didn't expect you to think so highly of me. Lu Chen spoke again. Long responded. Of course. You're here with me now, but higher than Whitebeard. That's just because Whitebeard is too old, and he is still possessed by old injuries. In his prime, even the world government had to temporarily avoid the existence of cutting edge. Hypothetical S**X doesn't exist, what you said he does exist, and his body is irreversible, it's impossible to return to his prime, isn't it? That's true, Lu Chen responded. At this time, neither Lu Chen nor Long planned to continue. In a competition, there is no way for the two sides to decide the winner. A life and death battle. They don't need to. The two came together in tacit understanding, I saved the bear. 39. In a word, Long froze in place, and put his unbelievable eyes on Lu Chen. As such that, Lu Chen recounted the matter between himself and the bear. In this way, I have also done you a big favor. The bear with a mechanical body can not only fully gain the trust of the world government, but also improve its combat effectiveness. Should you thank me? 35. For example, give me hundreds or thousands of devil fruit. Kr. Facing Lu Chen's sudden and shameless request. Long naturally knew that Lu Chen was just joking. Not to mention that a devil fruit is 200 million Baileys, and it is still very expensive. If thousands of devil fruit can be obtained, it is impossible for the dragon to give Lu Chen. The revolutionary army also needs more and stronger forces. I really have to thank you for this. So, just thank me and it's over. Is there no reward at all? Lu Chen teased again. What happened here? At this time, a familiar voice sounded. It seemed like there was a tsunami just now. I was still sleeping and was woken up directly. Follow the sound. It was Robin who showed up. It's nothing, I just tested it with the trainer on your ship. Give it a try. Long and Lu Chen, hear the news. Robin glanced around curiously, instantly rolled his eyes. You tell me, you two just had a try. Lu Chen and Long nodded at the same time. Not to mention a physical collision. Even each other's 1.3 clothes are not dirty at all. Isn't this a test? Okay, you are too good. Robin took a deep breath. Originally, this island was relatively desolate. But there are also lakes, creatures, and vegetation. There are also some small hills. But now, directly raised to the ground. Not to mention creatures and vegetation. Even those small hillsides were straightened out. The whole earth seemed to be scratched by something directly between the ground and the bottom shell. Exposed black soil that had not yet dried inside. The entire island except for the coastline behind Lu Chen and the underground entrance of the Revolutionary Army base behind Long. It has been completely wiped out. Robin looked at the two men in front of him reproachfully. There are tens of thousands of living beings on this island, don't you feel that you are going too far? Chapter 187 Robin's next stage of training. Robin didn't care about those animals. It's just that the duel between Long and Lu Chen completely erased the history of the island. This is the root cause of her anger. You are simply erasing the history of the entire island. 35. It really killed the island. Complaint against Robin. Long and Lu Chen looked at each other, all with embarrassed expressions. They didn't expect it to make such a big sensation just because of the competition. Of course, either Long or Lu Chen. Neither have any mood swings about destroying an island. Hey, seeing the indifferent expressions of the two, Robin sighed. Roll your eyes. I know there's no use to you on a remote island like this. But you also need to know. The history of mankind is assembled from bits. 39. Destroy a little today, lose a little tomorrow inadvertently, and after 100 years, you will find that mankind has no history at all. Robin is telling Long and Lu Chen the danger of destroying things. Long He Lu Chen and the two were making eye contact. Didn't you come to see Robin? Go now. 302. UB asterisk 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 D, you're trying to push me out of the top tank. So, didn't you come to see Robin? Then I'll just take her away, it took me a long time to wait for you. Single quote. For Long's sudden despicable behavior, Lu Chen gave full contempt. However, he really has no good way. It can only be cheeky to come to Robin. Looking at Robin in front of him, he coughed dryly. Robin, I'm here to help you improve your strength. You have mastered the power of Ripple, and now you can begin to master the Gate of Heaven. Heaven's Gate. Is that the ability to turn a person into a book and read a person's memory? Hear this from Lu Chen. Robin's eyes lit up, but. The next second Robin narrowed his eyes. Master Trainer, don't you feel that you are despicable now? Do not think so. Lu Chen responded happily. At this point, he had completely ignored Robin's accusation just now. The strong one has this right. 35. All right. Seeing that Lu Chen didn't intend to listen to what he said at all, Robin could only sigh helplessly. He turned to look at the dragon. Discovering the dragon is basically the same attitude. Cannot help but a little speechless. She also understood at this time. I can't fight the two guys in front of me. It's the same in terms of strength and lip service. It can only be avoided the topic of destroying the island. So, Master Trainer, what is the next stage of my training? Wait. 35. Lu Chen directly started calling the system. System, customize, train Nico Robin, get the Gate of Double Heaven. Hearing Lu Chen's call, the system quickly began to deduce and calculate. Quickly, Robin's training plan is out. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Nicole's substitute for Heaven's Gate. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Read more than 6 hours a day for 600 days. Close black lens bracket. Lu Chen saw this training program. Everyone has a headache. Even if it is a novel, reading 6 hours a day is a headache. Not to mention that there is no such entertainment as novels in the world of One Piece. But, if it's Robin, this kind of thing should be happy to do, right? With a slight smile, Lu Chen raised his head. Your new generation plan is to read more than 6 hours a day for 600 days. This will give you access to the gates of heaven. So simple. There was a surprised look in Robin's eyes. Even without this training, I would read more than 8 hours a day. Well, it's that simple. Lu Chen looked at Robin and flashed back the days he spent with Robin in his mind. Indeed, when she almost had time to herself, she would pick up a book and read. This task is really not difficult for her. Lu Chen. At this time, Dragon came over. There was some interest in his eyes. I've heard of your training dojo. We can be considered friends who have fought twice. 99. My strength, do you also think of a way to help improve it? Dragon's intelligence network, plus the strength changes of Luffy and others. He already knew something about Lu Chen initially. Certainly, it is impossible for him to know Lu Chen's system. All he knows is that Lu Chen can design the strength enhancement that is most effective for that person based on others. Long has self-knowledge, it is impossible for him to enjoy the fact that Luffy and others can ask Lu Chen to help with the training plan without paying any price. So, he set his sights on Lu Chen's training dojo. I won't let you help with training for nothing, I will give 200 million Baileys, how? As this, Lu Chen looked at the dragon, unable to make a decision for a while. Now his strength can't completely dominate the world of One Piece. Like the 4 emperors, dragons, and the highest level of combat power in the world government, he has no qualifications to win. Give the dragon a boost now. It might be a threat to himself. No, I'm not good enough. Thinking of this, Lu Chen shook his head. You should be basing your judgment on Luffy et al. And my training on supernovae. I can indeed do 083 training according to the opponent's body, but this training can only be done by people who are weaker than me. Lu Chen gave a very reasonable reason. Of course, this is an excuse. As long as Lu Chen thought about it, even Monkey King and Vegeta in Dragon Ball, and Saitama in One Punch Man, with a ceiling-level existence system can also give training. What Lu Chen wants is to give them top-level combat training in One Piece, after he has absolute strength. So, you have an advantage in combat. Any accident can be easily resolved. This time is not far away. 2 years later, the training for those supernovas is complete. Lu Chen does not say that he can completely possess the power over the world of One Piece. The existence of the 4 emperors level can be easily dealt with in his eyes. Looking at the dragon, Lu Chen felt a little regretful. Either, you take the initiative to become weaker, or find me a super powerful fruit, so that I can become much stronger than you in a short period of time, and I can make training for you. It's planned. Answer. Obviously not. Long could only express regret for this. Lu Chen also embarked on the road of finding partners again. Next drop. Appeared on an island that looked quite pink. Just when Lu Chen was puzzled, a familiar voice sounded. The Gate of Life, open. Chapter 188 Sanji's Wonderful Journey to S*********** Island. Is it really the island where Sanji is located? After hearing this voice, Lu Chen nodded. This is the legendary Peach Island that many people envy and long for, the location of the S********* Kingdom, Kamabaka Kingdom. Only, many people envy and long for Lu Chen has always been skeptical. However, when he saw tens of thousands of strong man-level she-males, Lu Chen swallowed. Perhaps, it's not necessarily false. 35. This quantity absolutely cannot be fake. She-males are not born. It can only be surgical transformation and Ivankov's fruit ability. So to speak, these tens of thousands of people are all transformed from men and women who came here for their fame. I don't know how long Ivankov was imprisoned. This rumor is absolutely true. If not, maybe there are hundreds of thousands of monsters on the ******* island today. Damn it, why did you open the third gate, but you still can't beat it? Sanji's strength has reached the level of a supernova at this stage, but because of the Vinsmoke family's pressure, he did not make the list. Coupled with the former third gate that opened the 8 inner gates, how could it still be beaten? There was a hint of curiosity in Lu Chen's eyes. Hiding directly aside. Into the eye. Behind Sanji followed a dozen beauties. Sanji opened the third gate, and green steam began to rise from his body. Speed, strength, and explosiveness can be said to have been greatly improved. However, even so, he was beaten by the dozen or so beauties. Even, it can be said to be completely played. The people on this island are so powerful. Lu Chen was surprised. But this is normal. Island is located in the New World. If there is no such thing, even the everybody loves ladyboy beauties and handsome guys will be robbed. After all, this is a paradise for pirates. Even if Ivankov wasn't there. The characters on the island are similar to the pirate ship Cadres, and they are not mortals. I didn't want to use it. But now that you insist on forcing me, don't blame me for being rude. There was annoyance in his eyes. Sanji has been driven crazy by this group of she-males. Injury door, open. With the opening of the fourth gate, Sanji's power is boosted again. The aura around him exploded even more. Speed up again. Little thing, so cute. But in the face of Sanji in this situation, the she-males still disapprove. Even compared to Sanji, a cute look. If such an action is placed on a beautiful girl, although it will be a bit contrived, it will not have a sense of disobedience. It is no exaggeration to say that it is pleasing to the eye. But if you put it on this group of 5 big and 3 thick beauties, even if Lu Chen hasn't eaten much recently, couldn't help but feel a little nauseous. The thought that Sanji will be here for 2 years. Lu Chen felt that, quite happy. As the saying goes, the pain of others is the source of your own happiness. Although it is wrong to laugh at others. But happy is also really happy. How come? Sanji, who opened the fourth gate, was full of confidence. Turn your head to attack again. But he found that he couldn't beat those she-males at all. He can be sure. Your own attack and speed are definitely stronger than the opponent's. The issue is, no matter how strong the strength and speed are, it's useless if you can't hit someone. And the damage of the monsters, attacks to him can even be described as true damage. Even if it's just a tap. He was also sweating in pain. That's the benefit of observation hockey and armament hockey. 99. Sanji didn't know what was going on. But Lu Chen understood. To be able to dodge Sanji's attack, that is observation hockey's prediction. And hitting people hurts more, it's armament hockey. On the Straw Hat boat, although everyone knows more or less about hockey. But the degree of use is not high. The current Sanji is not to mention that he is winning against this group of she-males. Even one of them is not something Sanji can handle. This group of she-males all use observation hockey and armament hockey with ease. It's no wonder that the bear, or the dragon, arranged for Sanji to train here. Before leaving the Revolutionary Army, Lu Chen deliberately asked Long a mouthful. Was the place where Luffy and the others were located that he had chosen carefully? The answer is yes. If you just let Sanji find a place to train on his own, his character will never be too serious. Close the door, open it. At this time, Sanji couldn't care less. In a fit of rage, he opened the 5th gate of the 8 inner gates. Speed up again. I actually met the ***** in front of me. Oh who, such a sight. Lu Chen was also surprised. 8 inner gates are really good. It was possible for Sanji to reach someone who could use observation hockey with ease in a short period of time. Backquote. Just, quote, what's the use of just touching it? But this group of she-males is not like the group of people from Sky Island who only see ***X. They are also armed. As predicted, the person Sanji met turned black and purple all over. That kick did no harm to her at all. This kick, far from letting Sanji get out of the current predicament. On the contrary, there was a dignified look in the eyes of the ***** on the opposite side. It's over. Get serious. Such a sight. Lu Chen wiped his forehead. A look of helplessness appeared on his face. Bang. The next second, Sanji flew upside down. The other she-males clearly sensed that something was wrong with this and they stepped back one after another. Obviously, this is the space for her. It also means that she is angry and doesn't plan to play anymore. Wait a minute. See this scenario. Lu Chen quickly jumped out. Are you going to join? The who was angry, Qian Hao looked at Lu Chen. There was no joke in his eyes. Can see. If Lu Chen nodded. She really intends to fight with Lu Chen. Lu Chen is naturally not afraid. However, he did not intend to blend in. This is Sanji's training. With the experience of angering the people this time, the effect of Sanji's training this time is probably even better than in the original book. No, it's just that he's my friend, and I'm going to talk to him. Done. Lu Chen was afraid that the ladyboy would misunderstand him. He opened his mouth to explain again. Don't worry, I'm not going to take him away. I'll leave when we're done talking. How about you repay your kindness and your revenge again? 35. The is still reluctant. Lu Chen's eyes flashed red. She has been held in place. The she-males around became vigilant when they saw this, and one of them looked solemn, red-eyed Lu Chen. Chapter 189 Passionate Miss Sister. Didn't expect my fame to be so big. Everyone in New World knows it. No wonder. Just like the Grand Line and the Four Seas are a junction. The Grand Line and New World are also a junction. Before the Grand Line, the supernova, that is, the existence of breaking 100 million level, was already an incredible superpower. But this level of people in the New World, although not the lowest level, but also as many as dogs. But 500 million is different. Even a pirate group at the level of 500 million can become a cadre level existence. And Lu Chen reached this bounty when he was on the Grand Line. If you don't notice it exists, then, even if the island or power is in the calm belt, someone will come to take over. Intelligence does not necessarily help a person or force grow. But without intelligence, it is absolutely impossible for anyone to grow up. Also, please give me a face. Lu Chen smiled at this group of beauties. Since it's the red-eyed Lu Chen, then we naturally agree. But, the person who spoke glanced at the who was controlled by Lu Chen's illusion. Of course, as long as 083 responds to my request, I will naturally not conflict with the people on the island. Lu Chen lifted the illusion of Blood Wheel Eye. UB*********D. The illusion has just been lifted. The E was about to get angry when he was pulled away. Not knowing what was said in her ear, the E became honest. See, Lu Chen quickly came to Sanji's side. Just pretend to talk to them calmly. Most of Lu Chen's energy has been spent. At this moment, all he wanted was to quickly help Sanji set up a training plan for opening the 8th gate, and then leave here quickly. Lu Chen, Sanji, who had just walked out of the wall that was smashed by himself, saw Lu Chen as if he saw a savior. Take me out of here quickly. Here are all bad guys. Cough cough. Lu Chen coughed, pretending not to know. I'm here to help you with your 6th gate and 7th gate training. Hear what Lu Chen said. Sanji was stunned at first. Having the 6th gate and 7th gate training so soon. Of course, the end of the journey, New World, is almost here. If you don't train now, you have no chance. And Sanji's performance in the back is really worrying. Compared to Luffy's open hang, Zoro's steady play. Originally, the 3 major forces in everyone's mouth, Sanji's performance is really unacceptable. Although a cook should not be comparable to a captain and a swordsman. But, the problem is, the old thief's settings were very strong from the beginning. The weakening after New World is really unacceptable. That's right, watching Sanji sink into the idea of 8 inner gates. Lu Chen also sees the opportunity. He can't be allowed to find the right opportunity to leave this island. Moreover, this is known as the second daughter country on the sea. Isn't that what Sanji was expecting? System, customize, train Vinsmoke Sanji, learn Guy's intermediate taijutsu and unlock 8 inner gates, 6th gate and 7th gate. Listen to Lu Chen. The system began to deduce quickly. I wonder if the system also has a human-like fear of this island. This time the deduction was surprisingly fast. Almost as soon as Lu Chen opened his mouth, he gave a plan. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Vinsmoke Sanji. Close black lens bracket. Training goals. Learn Guy's middle-level physical skills and open the 8 inner gates, 6th gate and 7th gate. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. To hone physical fitness, complete 50,000 squats, 50,000 frog leaps, and run 10 kilometers every day for 600 days. Close black lens bracket. Is Guy's mid-level physique only available after opening the 6th gate and 7th gate? After a little thought in his mind, Lu Chen understood. What is Guy's advanced bodybuilding ACBD? Night Elephant. Night Guy is a super powerful skill that can only be used when the 8th gate is fully open. The so-called middle-level physical art that can only be learned now also has skills such as facing the peacock and the day tiger. Should be satisfied. After adjusting his mood a little, Lu Chen looked at Sanji in front of him and said, hone your physical fitness, complete 50,000 squats, 50,000 frog leaps, and run 10 kilometers every day for 600 days. What? Sanji looked confused. Doing so is not exhausting for him now. But the problem is, it takes time. Aside from the chores of life such as eating, drinking, sleeping, and this training, he can even say that there is no time he can control. Sanji looked at Lu Chen with a puzzled face. Are you sure? But, when he faced where Lu Chen had just stood, Sanji was shocked. Or go crazy. Where is Lu Chen at this time? Just at this time, a voice resounded in the sky. E. Everyone in Teo's island, I'll leave first, and I'll leave my friends to you. Huh. 35. After hearing Lu Chen's words, Sanji finally understood what was going on. Just thinking about 8 inner gates, completely forgetting about my situation. Lu Chen, you be asterisk 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 D. Sanji let out a deafening roar, and the whole person was about to go berserk. But, in front of him was the S asterisk 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 E who had just been touched by him. The S asterisk 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 E's face was full of anger. Apparently, he was annoyed by his kick just now. Behind her are more than a dozen shemales watching the show. Sister, have something to say. Sanji was scared. The fight just now has let him know that the two sides are not opponents on the same level. It's not that the strength is insufficient, nor that the speed is incomparable. It was completely the difference in hockey, which led to the mismatch in the combat power of the two sides. I was wrong, and I apologize to you. At this time, where is Sanji still in the mood to question Lu Chen? He just wanted to get rid of the shemales in front of him now. If one is wrong, do you want to get rid of me? Did you ever think about me when you had a kick or a heavy kick just now? People just want to make a joke with you, and you want to kill them. Have you considered this fragile heart? People. Lu Chen, who was hiding in the air, suddenly felt a burst of angina. Especially after seeing those tall people with muscles comparable to Zhongfei and Li Kui's body, the blood wheel eyes began to bleed. Vaguely, the pupil power was affected and decreased. At this moment, he couldn't care about Sanji's tragic situation. Quickly activated the ability of the meatball fruit, and quickly escaped from this S asterisk 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 E island. These shemales can't be provoked. Meatball fruit is convenient. Quickly, Lu Chen came to the next destination. This is an island full of birds and flowers. Oh, don't praise me, B asterisk 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 D. Chapter 190. The Heroic Chopper. The Kingdom of Trino, an island where humans and birds fight. Here the terrain is broad, the geography is comfortable, and the weather is peaceful. Not to mention that there is no wind and no disasters in a year, at least it is a place without major disasters. On the left half of Chopper at this time are huge birds. On the right is a group of humans around, beside it. Both sides played very harmoniously, and Chopper was surrounded by the center of the two sides, as if to thank him. A happy look. I remember, Chopper seems to be here to solve the problem that humans and birds can't coexist. Lu Chen pondered for a moment, then remembered what Chopper had done in this Trino kingdom. Actually, this island is far away from strife, and people love peace rather than violence. In addition, it is located in a relatively remote area of South Blue, and there are no special products that are too valuable, and some only have some herbs and doctors. It seems very important, but other countries also have their own medical systems, and this place with rich herbs and developed medicine seems a bit too tasteless. Therefore, no one will deliberately run over to subdue them by force. This place can be said to be extremely safe and peaceful. Only, the battle between birds and humans has never stopped. In fact, no wonder the people and birds on the island. Their feud was not irreconcilable. Nothing more than the language barrier, coupled with mutual vigilance, gradually led to riots. This kind of thing can only be solved by someone who can understand both languages. Can only say, only the Revolutionary Army and the world government can notice such places. Chopper is the person chosen by the dragon to help the island mediate, or the choice of the deer. At the same time, knowledge of herbs and medicine on the island is also what Chopper needs. Thought here, Lu Chen had to sigh with emotion. This guy is really busy enough. Such comprehensive things can be thought of, and take the opportunity to provide solutions. Revolutionary Army, at least in terms of helping to mediate between nations and islands. Absolutely the best choice. At least it's more reliable than world government, which you can clearly see and know. World government is now completely rotten. Completely eroded. Become the worms of the world. They are now celestial dragons, what the 20 big families used to do for this world Lu Chen didn't know. At least now, they are completely unfit to rule the world. Chopper. 9. It's very welcome here. Fall slowly. Lu Chen came to Chopper's side. What? Did I hear Lu Chen's voice? A puzzled look on Chopper's face. Then he quickly shook his head. Impossible, I'm in South Blue right now. 180,000 miles from Sabayati Archipelago. How could Lu Chen be here? Hey, Chopper sighed at this point. There were even tears in his eyes. I miss my friends so much, woo woo woo. No, don't cry, I have to be strong. It's really me. In this regard, Lu Chen also showed the expression of crying and laughing. If you don't believe me, look back. What? Chopper was suspicious again. Looking forward in disbelief. Those big birds and people also nodded. Chopper then turned his head to look in the direction of Lu Chen. Lu Chen. After seeing Lu Chen, Chopper 3 steps and 2 steps. Jumped directly to Lu Chen. To this, Lu Chen naturally hugged him directly into his arms. This guy can take a bath by himself, so he doesn't have to worry about it getting dirty. And, Harry, there is a warm feeling in the arms. On weekdays, it is occupied by Nami and Robin. Away from the two lesbians, Chopper will also do his own thing. Lu Chen didn't have much time to tease it at all. It's really you. Of course it's me. Lu Chen smiled. He touched Chopper's head with his hand, intending to soothe Chopper's excitement. Don't get too excited. Where did Chopper hear Lu Chen's comfort? His small face rubbed directly against Lu Chen's chest. I thought I would never see you again. Hey hey hey, don't wipe your snot and tears on me. Lu Chen was speechless for a while. But it didn't interrupt Chopper. Although with his own help, Chopper is already strong. In the case of monster mode, I am afraid that even the current Luffy can be hanged. But, his timid character was deep in his bones. It can't be changed at all. Zero. Ask for flowers. And, he wasn't here to pick up Chopper this time. It was for him to train. All right, after crying for a while. Lu Chen could even feel the tears soaking through his clothes. When the meat in the chest can feel the moisture. Lu Chen forcibly lifted Chopper up from his chest. Chopper, can you tell me what happened to you lately? Speaking of which, Chopper had a look of pride on his face. Well, let's start from the moment I got here. Chopper began to talk about his experience in great detail. He was flown to this island by Bear Row. At first, it fell into the bird's nest of the big bird, but unfortunately, it hasn't had time to say anything or explain it. 0. The giant bird that came back kicked it away. Then it was captured by local residents and almost made into a hot pot. Fortunately, the giant bird and the human fought again, which allowed him to escape from danger. But, in the battle between humans and giant birds, Chopper sensed something was wrong from the human complaint and the anger from the giant bird. After several twists and turns, even after some injuries. Finally, the human and the giant bird have reached a reconciliation. Lu Chen put Chopper back on the ground. While listening to Chopper's words, I entered the Kamui space. Left outside as Shadow Clone. After changing clothes, I came out again. After my mediation, the human and the bird race came to a reconciliation. 35. I was receiving their praise when you first came, Lu Chen. Saying that, Chopper raised his head high. A look like you come and praise me, come and praise me. Is it like this? It seems that our little boat doctor is really good. 35. How can it be as good as you say? Chopper rubbed his head, his body twisting unnaturally. You be asterisk 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 D, don't praise me, I won't be affected by your praise. Does this count as unaffected? Look at Chopper. Lu Chen fell silent. He was even a little worried about whether the bones in Chopper's body were damaged. At this moment, an angry look appeared on Chopper's face. He shouted at Lu Chen. Also, if you praise me, why use the adjective xiao xiao? Chapter 191. The complete Xerneas. To this, Lu Chen ignored it directly. Smile and applaud. While continuing to praise, Dr. Chopper is great. Oh, it's not as good as you say. No, you still haven't said what your adjective just now means. Dr. Chopper is great. Lu Chen didn't mean to change his tactics. Oops, the two went on like this for 5 minutes. Chopper miraculously forgot the adjective, little. Under everyone's suspicious eyes, Chopper introduced Lu Chen to the surrounding birds and humans. Lu Chen, the trainer on our ship. Don't look at him so ordinary, he is a big pirate with a bounty of 500 million. 39. Talking. Chopper looked up, a look that I am proud of. It seems that the person offering a bounty of 500 million is its average. 083, 500 million. Humanity was immediately shocked. The birds couldn't help but take a few steps back. Both sides obviously knew what the 500 million bounty represented. Okay. 9. Look around. Lu Chen felt fear and hostility. Fortunately, he did not intend to stay here. His gaze returned to Chopper from the surrounding birds and humans. The purpose of my coming here this time is to let you completely inherit the power of the nature elf Xerneas. 35. After the last training, plus the adaptation and application of these days, you can already inherit the power of Xerneas. Okay. Chopper jumped 3 meters high with excitement. Xerneas had the power and ability it could only dream of. Chopper has long wanted to ask Lu Chen about it. However, because there are so many things that he has experienced during this time, and Chopper himself does not know whether he is qualified to inherit the power of Xerneas. It has never been asked. Now that Lu Chen took the initiative to mention it, he was naturally very happy. Lu Chen, you don't know, I have longed for that power for a long time. Of course I know you've longed for that power for a long time. It just didn't take much time. Xerneas. To be honest, if you simply talk about power, there is not necessarily a Chopper's fruit. But it's just fine. Its power can save Chopper a lot of medicine. Help for life, or for doctors. The use of life energy will undoubtedly give Chopper more time to deal with the disease. Don't worry, I promised you before and I will definitely give it to you. Lu Chen gave Chopper a slight smile to signal that it was at ease. Start contacting the system. System, customize, train Tony Chopper, get the elf power of Xerneas. Hear what Lu Chen said. The system began to run and deduce rapidly. After a while, the training plan has come to Lu Chen's mind. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Tony Chopper. Close black lens bracket. Training goal. To obtain the elf power of the natural elf Xerneas. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Accompany the grass and trees every day, not far from the grass and trees, the duration is 600 days. Close black lens bracket. Every day is accompanied by plants and trees for 600 days. Lu Chen was surprised, not surprised by the difficulty of the task. Instead, I was amazed at the simplicity of the task. The difficulty of this task is simply too easy for Chopper. The Trino Kingdom can be said to be a country and an island growing in nature. Can't get away from the grass at all. That is to say, Chopper does what it's supposed to do. The rest don't matter at all. Obtained the power of the spirit of Xerneas. Although it's just an auxiliary ability, isn't it a bit too simple? Lu Chen complained in his heart. It's not obvious on the face. Looking at Chopper, he said slowly, you are now a master, and you have the rhythm of life. To be honest, even if you were a master, you have mastered the core ability of Xerneas. 55. Now what you need to do is to be with the grass and trees for 600 days, in order to enhance the induction between yourself and the world of grass and trees, so that you can obtain the elf power of Xerneas. 5. To be with plants and trees for 600 days. There was thought in Chopper's eyes. Even it is too simple. The problem is, as a doctor, my longest contact with herbal medicines is on weekdays. 39. Isn't this too easy for me? To this, Lu Chen shrugged. He didn't know why the Chopper training was so easy. I can only think of an explanation myself. This is because you have mastered the rhythm of life in advance. 99. Also, 600 days, and it's uninterrupted. It's not an easy thing. To this, Chopper could only nod his head seriously. In this case, it is indeed possible to leave when taking a shower. If you fail, you have to start all over again. It's really not easy to count 600 days in this way. While talking, Chopper sorted his things. Goodbye, everyone. I'm going back with my friends. Well, don't worry, I won't be hurt, he is a very reliable partner. You have to be good too, and also, you are doing the right thing. You must kick out other creatures that break into your lair mercilessly, otherwise the child may be lost. Chopper and the humans and birds of the kingdom of Trino say goodbye respectively. Done with this. 10 minutes have passed. Lu Chen, I'm going too. Just when Chopper was excited to leave with Lu Chen, it found out. Lu Chen has disappeared. Hey, Lu Chen, where have you been? 35. Lu Chen's disappearance. Chopper immediately panicked. Hastily rummaged around. At this moment, a human child stepped forward cautiously. He's long gone. What? Chopper was taken aback by the child's words. Quickly look at the others. Others have similar expressions. Why didn't you tell 1.3 to tell me? 35. We have to dare to tell you. Humans and birds began to complain in their hearts. They are afraid that they will never forget those scarlet eyes. Even the most ferocious beast in the Trino kingdom is afraid that it is not even 1% of him. Perhaps, this is a test given to you by your partner. Right, heard here. Chopper rallied again. At this time it sounded the role of Lu Chen on the boat. That's the trainer. The purpose is to make the crew stronger. He must be trying to make me stronger, then I must be stronger. 39. Chopper was in self-hypnosis, and even moved Lu Chen to think about it. Actually, Lu Chen just didn't know how to say goodbye to Chopper. At this time, he was already on another island, or in a city. Chapter 192 King of Souls, King of Knights. This is a human city. And it is a very prosperous human city. In order to find Brook, Lu Chen spent a lot of time. Start searching from the very beginning coordinates. After 2 days of inquiries, even the news that Ace was about to be killed had spread all over the sea, and Lu Chen was finally able to find it. Fortunately, I found it, otherwise I'll have to wait until the end of the battle to the top. Lu Chen bought a ticket and followed the crowd into the theater. Say it's a theater. In fact, it is just a small theater that can accommodate dozens of people. Lu Chen will not deny Brook's ability, but in a short period of time, it is impossible to be too popular. Certainly, insufficient popularity is lack of popularity. Brook's level is still attracting a lot of people. Have you heard? The singer is a skeleton. Well, it's interesting. Not only that, his playing level and singing level are also surprisingly high. The discussions of the people around were one after another. Everyone came with the idea of watching the concert. A living skeleton singer and dancer, this is the existence that no one can refuse. It can be seen from the clothing. Oh, to those who can come here are not civilians. There was a great deal of interest in Brook. I heard, Brook has only performed in this city twice, right? How can it be so popular? Eyes swept around. Lu Chen followed the entrance personnel in front. Brook now has such a huge popularity, which Lu Chen did not expect. Although it is only a single city, but it can also be seen from it, his potential and ability. As long as he spends more time, he will definitely become a Uranus superstar. This can be seen from Brook's performance on the Sabayati archipelago 2 years later in the original book. King of Souls. If the interpretation of singing reaches the ultimate, it can really resonate with human beings. This title is well deserved. Enter gradually. Lu Chen sat down slowly. Although he was lucky, just in time for ticket sales. Even the first batch of ticket buyers. But, he was still only assigned the worst position in the last row. But, this is also stronger than many people. A small theater with dozens of people. Counting the people who bought the standing tickets, there were more than 300 people. Hello everyone. A familiar voice rang out. The spotlight in the middle of the theater instantly shone to the center of the theater. Brook's slightly dejected figure appeared. On his chest is a guitar. 35. The guitar sounded. The above is driven by a mass of orange flames. It's hell fire. Seeing this, Lu Chen's eyes lit up. His expression also became excited. To be able to integrate the fire of hell so quickly, and even add it to the performance. Even the most common guitar can control the fire of hell, and let the fire of hell not burn. This control. Should it be said to be a nearly 100-year-old old man? You know, the fire of hell is a flame that burns instantly and never ends. Interesting. Throughout the theater, the moment they saw Brook, everyone screamed. Brook, 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 Brook. 35. Brook is also smiling. The empty face did not arouse any disgust or fear in anyone. On the contrary, it made them even more excited. Yo hoo hoo hoo, yo hoo hoo hoo, yo hoo hoo hoo, yo hoo hoo hoo. A familiar melody sounded. It was Binks' Wine. In One Piece, there are good music and bad performance. But among all the music, only this one is the most enduring. Follow the melody. Lu Chen also hummed. Maybe it was infected by Lu Chen. Or maybe the whole theater likes this song too. Everyone also hummed along under Brook's lead. Bringing it to you, guests whine. One song is over. Bring the glow of hellfire that Brook uses to add to the atmosphere. The entire theater has been completely mobilized. Everyone is immersed in the vague ocean. This time, I'm going to announce something to everyone. 55. Just at this time, Brook speaks. This word, it caught everyone's attention at once. Everyone looked at Brook. They didn't know what such a skeleton would do. What are you going to announce? Could it be, is there a new single? Or, did he put together a new dance move, the flame show? This moment, even Lu Chen became curious. After all, there is not much news about Brook in the original book. In addition to describing his initial embarrassment after being knocked into the air by a bear. When he reappeared, Brook had become the Uranus superstar above the sea, the King of Souls. My future stage name has been confirmed. I see. That's right, did you decide on the stage name, King of Souls, so early? Actually it is. After all, he's still a pirate. If you want to create in public, you need an identity that doesn't require your own name. Deciding on a stage name before he becomes popular can be regarded as a backup for his own safety. Lu Chen liked Brook's approach. Although this guy looks unreliable, he is an old comrade after all, and he is also a veteran of pirates. This point is still there in 083. Others around him were flabbergasted when they heard what Brook said. They are not the same as Lu Chen after all, don't know what will happen. They only know that the skeleton in front of them will definitely become a big star in the future. At that time, they will have the bragging capital. A big star gets his stage name under his own witness. How to say this matter? How can there be a face? After looking around expectantly, Brook smiled confidently. A guitar string in hand. An orange flame erupted instantly. His eyes slowly scanned the surroundings. My stage name is. Brook paused again. The last pause was because of suspense. This time it was him who saw Lu Chen. A surprise flashed in his eyes. Brook was about to speak and recognize Lu Chen. I saw Lu Chen wave his hand. For fear that he would misunderstand, he shook his head again. This move by Lu Chen made Brook a little at a loss. However, Brook did not show panic and sway. Anyway, it was in suspense before. This pause did not confuse the people in the surrounding theaters. After stabilizing his emotions, Brook spoke again. Soul. Brook opened his mouth slowly. The guitar strings in his hand had been strummed by him. King. Chapter 193 I am, Ghost Rider. On this day, a top streamer in the world of One Piece appeared. That is, on this day, the title of the King of Souls, which is popular in the world, was born. The next time is the very hot song singing time. I have to say, Brook is quite desperate. Playing for 7 hours before stopping, adding up to less than 20 minutes of rest. Till the end, everyone reluctantly left. Lu Chen. When everyone left, Lu Chen quietly came to the backstage. Brook was not surprised either. Lie down directly on the ground and grab Lu Chen's thigh. Eyes filled with tears. I miss you so much. Calculate the time. Almost half a month has passed. Brook hasn't been on board for long so far. He was really afraid that Luffy and others would forget about him. But, his worries were obviously superfluous. As long as it is someone Luffy approves, it will always be a partner. Luffy would never have made the decision to give up his partner. Naturally, it is impossible for other people to go against the captain's wishes. In this regard, Lu Chen also summed up a lot of ideas that can save trouble. For example, Luffy's ability to know people is something that even Lu Chen believes. Because this is the old thief's setting. As a traveler, he may have the power to transcend this world. Can change everything in the world. But there is absolutely no way to change the settings. If one day encounters a plot character that is not familiar to Lu Chen, then, it is impossible for Lu Chen to know whether the other party is good or bad. At this time, instead of spending brain cells to think, it is better to leave it to Luffy. In addition, Zoro can be completely trusted in recognizing the way, as long as Zoro guides the way, and then recognizes the opposite way to him. These settings work well. It is definitely another way to save worry and effort. My purpose of coming here this time is to arrange new training for you. Lu Chen looked at Brook in front of him. There is also a happy expression on his face, which is happy for Brook. Brook's joy on stage is real, the kind of joy that is completely unmixed. Listening to Lu Chen's words, a blank expression appeared on Brook's face. Immediately ecstatic. During this time, he has tried too much. Using hellfire to spice up the show is obviously the most glamorous of them all. Brook has been thinking a lot these days, if he could have the full Ghost Rider ability. Then he must be more successful. Not only in terms of force value, but also in terms of artistic creation. Now just thinking about the way he rides on the stage on his motorcycle, Brook's whole body gets excited. Brook's whole body shivered at the exhilaration that hit his soul. Lu Chen, is what you said true? Of course it's true. Seeing Brook like this, Lu Chen laughed. System, customization, training knows song. Brook, get all the inheritance of Ghost Rider. Listen to Lu Chen's request. The system quickly began to deduce. Soon, Ghost Rider's plan has come out. Ding. The training plan has been drawn up. Close black lens bracket. Training object. Knows song. Brook. Close black lens bracket. Training goal. Get all the inheritance of Ghost Rider. Close black lens bracket. Training plan. Use Hellfire to perform 500 times, and each time shall not be less than 5 hours. Close black lens bracket. Listen to the training plan. Lu Chen had a slight headache. Performed 500 times. Is 2 years enough time? Or, tired Brook to death. Wrong. Brook was already dead. I don't know if it's because of being around Brook. Silently, Lu Chen also played a death joke in his heart. Only then did he raise his head to look at Brook. At this time, Brook has stood up again. Count the height of the hat more than 3 meters. Lu Chen also needs to look up to look at him. Your training plan is to use Hellfire to perform 500 times, and each time should not be less than 5 hours. Done. Lu Chen wanted to comfort Brook. After all, this training program is simply too exhausting. According to the plot in the original book, Luffy gave everyone 2 years of rest and exercise. Converted, that is 730 days. There will also be time for preparation, songwriting and dance rehearsal. Time to travel to other islands, etc. So many things take so much time. The training program also mandated that each performance should be no less than 5 hours, making multiple performances in one day not very cost-effective. It is impossible to do a game in 2 days. Not to mention that it was 2 days without a game. This training plan is actually the simplest training plan other than Chopper, because it does not require continuous completion, but only stipulates the number of times. In theory, as long as Brook completes it before he is alive. However, Brook has only 2 years. In this training plan, something beyond Lu Chen's expectations occurred. Brook got excited after hearing about the training plan. Is it that simple? Is it simple? Listening to Brook's words, Lu Chen looked puzzled. Before Lu Chen could ask a question, Brook spoke again. I perform more than 20 hours a day, that is, 4 times a day. 9. It will be completed in more than 100 days. This. Lu Chen looked at Brook strangely. Are you sure you're not tired? Of course not tired. Brook looked relieved. After all, I'm already dead, how can I feel tired? Yo hoo hoo hoo. However, the problem is that you could not eat, drink and sleep before, did you feel pain? Listening to Lu Chen's words, Brook laughed again, of course. After all, I'm still alive. Yo hoo 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 hoo. Look at Brook's happy look. Lu Chen Zhong Qianhao opened his mouth, but in the end he didn't say anything. Actually, long working hours are not the main reason for everyone's complaints. The main reason is unhappiness, not something you want to do. If everyone likes to do what they like, most likely they will be like Brook, right? Do not. Brook was an accident, he was somewhere between the dead and the living. Have everything of the living, but also have the indefatigable fatigue of the dead. Just take him as an example. It counts as being on a boat anyway. Brook danced with excitement. Tie in the next second. The Lu Chen in front of him had disappeared. Hey. Where have you been, Lu Chen? Take me back too. Pity. Lu Chen had completely left the island at this time. According to Lu Chen's idea, he wanted to go back to Sabayati Archipelago first. However, on the way, a ship like a whale was found. Chapter 194 The Powerhouse on the Sea. This ship not only looks like a whale, but also has a huge body similar to a whale. What? Lu Chen stopped immediately. Look at this ship. A surprised expression appeared in his eyes. I believe that such an important ship, no one in the whole, One Piece, world will not know or not know. This ship is the strongest man in the sea, the man who makes the whole world government fear. Everyone believes that as long as he wants, he will be able to reach the final island and get the treasure left by Roger, as long as he wants, not even need him to complete the unspoken rule that everyone in the world must arrive at the final island by default to become the pirate king, just need him to nod, he can become the man of the second generation One Piece, Edward Newgate's ship. Moby DK. Did you meet earlier? What are you still doing in the sky? 35. Just at this time, a cheerful voice sounded. Since you're here, then come down and have a drink with the old man. Is this calling me? There were doubts in Lu Chen's eyes. Of course I'm calling you, or are there other people around this sea area? It seems to confirm what Lu Chen thought. The voice sounded again. To this, a hint of doubt appeared in Lu Chen's eyes. A red light flashed in his eyes. Blood wheel eyes activated. The scene below seems to be magnified. In Lu Chen's eyes, the figure of the White 083 beard already appeared. His signature smile appeared on his face. The direction you are looking at is exactly where Lu Chen is. Have you really found me? Lu Chen muttered. He has very complicated feelings for the strongest man in the sea. I believe many people are the same. There is no doubt about his power. Even if it is a broken body to the limit, it is still the best proof that Admiral is ravaged like a toy. But, a look of dissatisfaction flashed in Lu Chen's eyes. As a tie with the dragon, a small victory over Shanks. Lu Chen has the confidence of a strong man. Want to see me? I'd like to see first, whether you match the name or not. 5. Talking. The blood wheel eyes in Lu Chen's eyes instantly reached their limit. Since he came to this world, he has used illusion to the greatest extent possible. Crack. 35. Crack clap. There was a sound like glass breaking. His own illusion was directly isolated. In this regard, Lu Chen gave his own evaluation. Terrible power. ACBD, maybe the current Whitebeard has a way to deal with it, but it's just a matter of coping. A sun-like education like Akainu is unlikely to happen to him. After all, today's Lu Chen has two methods of defense and fast movement, Kamui Space and Flesh Ball Fruit. However, at most, he can escape from his hands. But if he was allowed to recover to his peak, he might not even be able to escape. So deduced. It's hard to imagine how powerful the pirates of Roger's generation were. The temptation has also been done. Are you still not willing to come down and have a drink with me, the dying old man? Just at this time, Whitebeard's voice sounded again. There was no anger in Lu Chen's temptation, and there was even a hint of happiness in his tone. Looks like it's up to me. There was a little helplessness in Lu Chen's tone, but an excited expression appeared on his face. If you say that in the whole One Piece, choose one of the people you want to see the most. There are definitely many people who want to meet Whitebeard, and Lu Chen is one of them. Reverse direction. Lu Chen descended rapidly. When it dropped to about 100 meters away from the Moby DK, a blue-yellow flame suddenly struck. It is the pineapple head in One Piece, Margao, who has the title of Phoenix. Attack is powerful, but not murderous. Obviously, it was just Margot's temptation. Lu Chen naturally wouldn't care. Kamui. Quote. Silently in my heart, Kamui Space is activated. Margao directly penetrated Lu Chen's body. The attack did nothing to Lu Chen at all. Whitebeard, you know me. Landing on the boat, Lu Chen glanced left and right. There are not many people on the ship who can be named. The Whitebeard Pirates 3rd Division Captain, Diamond, Yoja, 5th Division Captain, Foil, Beasta, and 6th Division Captain Ramank. Many of the people who appeared on Summit War were on it. There are also many people with strong aura but who can't be named. Obviously, these are the strong people in the Whitebeard Pirates, but they are not portrayed in the old thief's pen. If it wasn't for Whitebeard being forced into the naval headquarters and confronting the Ready Marine. In the sea, it is really not necessarily who wins and who loses. Of course I know. On this sea, as long as I like people, I will pay attention to and understand them. The strongest on the Grand Line, the leader of the supernova, and the trainer of the pirate world. Your name is even louder than mine. Goo. Whitebeard is wearing a hanging bottle. He holds a bowl in his hand, which is naturally filled with wine. Boy, do you want to be my son? 39. Depend on. Is that really the case? Lu Chen was speechless, although it has already been prepared. Just thought about this when I heard Whitebeard's voice. But really when the question came out of Whitebeard's mouth. Lu Chen still felt speechless. In no mood. Decisive. Lu Chen appreciates Whitebeard, and it would be a good choice to be a crew member on the Whitebeard ship if he could travel again. However, it's better to be a son. Just have a dad. There is no need to recognize a foster father. As for the latter, I'll just treat you as simply wanting to praise me. Bigger than Whitebeard. Simply ridiculous. The future situation is not clear, but for now, don't even think about it. Even when Roger was alive, no one dared to say that Roger was more famous than Whitebeard. Not to mention today after Roger's death. Goo la la la. Listen to Lu Chen. Whitebeard laughed. The nearly 7-meter body looks down at Lu Chen even when sitting. Look in the direction you're traveling, in the direction of the Sabayati archipelago. What, are you planning to get involved this time? Lu Chen looked at Whitebeard in front of him and didn't speak for the first time. With Whitebeard's identity and status, he must know the battle between himself and the dragon and the Shanks. Even, they can restore all the details through their own network of relationships. Does this mean to woo me? Are you trying to win me over? Chapter 195. Let's make a big fuss. Lu Chen looked up at Whitebeard. The tone is quite calm. Whitebeard probably knows his approximate combat power. After all, he will be blocked by Shanks when he comes out of the New World. A trial between the two powerhouses. It's obviously more appropriate to be the subject of your own. And, even if Shanks didn't say it, although the test just now was extremely sloppy, it was enough to let Whitebeard know about his strength. Certainly. Whitebeard looked at Lu Chen. Not the slightest idea of denial. All over the face, with a happy expression. The signature laugh came out of his mouth again. Even when I was facing the whole Marine, I had no idea. 55. Having a fighting force like you here will make me feel a lot more at ease. Looking at Whitebeard, who was so frank, Lu Chen smiled slightly. It seems that maritime overlords also need a sense of security. 35. This moment, the two looked at each other. Both sides released their breaths involuntarily. A time. The entire ocean waves seemed to be still at the moment. The birds in the sky all fell from the sky because of the momentum. Even if you fall on the water and die, don't even dare to move. The wind stopped and the clouds were quiet. A time. The original noisy sound of the waves disappeared. The sea at this moment seems to have entered the eve of the storm, and the quietness makes people feel fearful. That's right. This time, it was still Whitebeard who spoke first. The whole person showed a cheerful expression. How? 35. Want to join me? Whitebeard made no secret of his purpose. He looked at Lu Chen with bright eyes. This determined look, as if he had already made plans to pull Lu Chen into it. But, the meeting between Lu Chen and him was just a coincidence that even Lu Chen himself was not aware of. Such a thing was obviously not something Whitebeard could have expected. The sudden trust, even Lu Chen felt flattered. After all, the human mind is the most difficult thing to control. Whitebeard could trust someone he just met. Simply incredible. Smile. Lu Chen also thought of the grandeur of Summit War. 3 Admiral played at the same time. Shichibukai came to the scene one after another. Sengoku and Garp, the mainstays of the older Marines, are also among them. It can be said, Summit War is one of the strongest wars in One Piece history. Looking at Whitebeard's serious eyes, Lu Chen nodded, of course. Majestic. Magnificent. Being able to become a person who makes a big scene on the sea, and it is the most heroic scene. Who would want to pass up such an opportunity? At least Lu Chen is not going to give up. Gu la la la. Hear Lu Chen's reply. Whitebeard laughed heartily. Just wave. The needles on his body fell from his body one after another. Under the helpless expressions of the doctors and nurses, Whitebeard stood up and looked in Marineford's direction. Then let's make a fuss with me. Arrogant. Boundless. Whitebeard showed the spirit of a king. At the same time, there is also a faint sense of heroism that never returns. This time, Lu Chen is willing to play a supporting role. Marine's purpose this time seems to be to kill Ace, the descendant of One Piece, but in fact, he wants to kill Whitebeard, so that the New World will enter the New World in chaos. In Marine's eyes Ace should die, but not necessarily. Whitebeard, on the other hand, is a mortal existence. At the same time, impel down. Luffy and Buggy and the others are facing off against the Blackbeards. There's not much difference here from the original. Not to mention any difference. That is, Buggy is not only relying on luck, but also on its own strength. Meet again. Blackbeard looked at Luffy and smiled heartily, revealing a mouth that was missing a tooth. Next to him is the head guard of Impel Down, Shiryu, known as the Shiryu of the Rain. Someone with a similar personality to me. Hearing Blackbeard's words, a look of disgust appeared on Luffy's face. Fundamentally, the two do have similarities. However, this does not mean that the two are the same person. On the contrary, the two are completely different people like water and fire. Let's take the analogy of water and fire. Floods and fires are devastating disasters. But the nature is completely different. I hate you. Luffy's assessment is fairly simple and straightforward. Even, the second gear was directly turned on and armament hockey was brought on. 0. Ask for flowers. To this, Blackbeard showed no surprise either. I don't like you either. In my opinion, you are too childish. 35. Talking. Blackbeard was surrounded by black mist. During the Impel Down at this time, Warden Magellan and Deputy Warden Hannibal had already fallen. The other high-level criminals who are also busy fleeing around have no one at all, and they have no ability to pay attention here. On the contrary, because of the strength of the two sides, the Impel Down side deliberately avoided this place and dealt with other matters first, which made the place extremely quiet, so quiet that there were only Luffy and Blackbeard. I want to leave. I'm going in. Luffy and Blackbeard spoke in unison again. The two sides never expected to be so synchronized. 0. Blackbeard laughed wildly. Luffy's expression was even more disgusting. Even Luffy didn't know why he hated Blackbeard in front of him so much. Even in the face of the king of the sea who ate Shank's arm, he never got angry. Blackbeard looked at Luffy and glanced at the person next to Luffy. For him, except for Luffy and Buggy, the others aren't enough to watch. However, the number of the other party was simply too many. And most of them are in the tens of millions, even hundreds of millions of bounty powerhouses, although he is not in his eyes, but it will delay their troubles. There is no need for such a collision at all, and it doesn't matter at all. Why don't we just get out of the way? You go out, how about I go in? Propose this. Mr. Point 3 can be said to be directly agreed. Buggy is the same idea. But because of his image in the eyes of his little brothers, he stood firmly by Luffy's side, like I was going to advance and retreat with Luffy. I want to ask a question. Ace was arrested, is it related to you? Hear Luffy's question. Blackbeard touched his chin. Captain Ace was caught by Aokiji. But if I hadn't killed Thatch, he wouldn't have come out. 99. In that case, it really has something to do with me. 39. The words are not over yet. A fist appeared directly on his face. A fist wrapped in armament hockey. Crack. A sound resembling a belt being withdrawn rang out. Chapter 196. Shiryu of Buggy Rain, rise. Luffy retracted his fist and looked handsomely at Blackbeard in front of him. Since you are responsible for it, I have to beat you today. It hurts. It hurts. The Blackbeard warrior rolled all over the ground with pain in his face. Dark fruit itself has the side effect of intensifying pain. Coupled with the fact that Luffy used armament hockey at this time, the pain can be said to go straight to the soul. Since I'm new to you, I'll take care of the trouble this time. 5. At this time, Shiryu of the Rain stood up. He glanced at Blackbeard next to him and slowly stood up. With a knife, Buggy glanced at Shiryu Rain's sword. There was no change in his expression, but his heart was filled with joy. Also walk out from Luffy's side. You don't think you're the only one with help, do you? Buggy God tier. No, that's Shiryu of the Rain. 083. Shiryu has a ruthless and murderous personality, and does not distinguish between enemies and friends. When Impel is down, he likes to slaughter prisoners and colleagues, and obtain pleasure from it. 99. Regardless of the enemy or me, kill if you want. This is also the reason why Shiryu will be locked in the 6th floor. To this, Buggy disagreed. No matter how strong it is, isn't it a knife? Since he uses a knife, he is not his opponent. I don't care who he is. 0.35. All I know is that he's standing in my way. 35. Hear that from Buggy. All the prisoners looked adored. Even Luffy glanced at Buggy at this moment. He also had some understanding of Buggy's strength after his previous meeting with Buggy. It's the same as he is now. If you can stand up, it is a very good helper. Straw Hat Boy, we'll talk about the matter between you and me later. Now this opponent is handed over to me. Talking. Buggy rushed out. I don't know when a dagger appeared in my hand. Dagger. Seeing the weapon in Buggy's hand, Shiryu couldn't help laughing. Not only that, this dagger is also the simplest craft to manufacture. Even the disabled goods that can be bought anywhere. Weapons are good weapons, but for those who use knives, this standard product is obviously not enough. Go to hell. As he spoke, Shiryu took a sharp puff of his cigar. The knife at the waist is unsheathed. The speed invisible to the naked eye quickly cut through the air. Buggy's body has been chopped in two. What? So weak? Buggy God tier. No. How? Shiryu's mocking voice appeared. The prisoners were also screaming and screaming. To this, Buggy did not make any statement. Something's wrong, Shiryu. At this moment, Blackbeard just got up from the ground. As one of the people most familiar with devil fruit, Blackbeard has a very keen sense of the fruit's power. There was no blood flowing, and even his body was still floating in the air. This guy is trying to confuse you. Hear Blackbeard's reminder. Shiryu frowned slightly. He took a few steps back quickly, with a hint of caution in his demeanor. Cut. 39. Buggy's voice sounded again. Throw the dagger in Shiryu's direction. Clang. Obviously. Such obvious tricks won't do anything. Buggy looked at Blackbeard slightly dissatisfied. Nosy. Buggy God tier. Sharp. As expected of a Buggy God tier. 35. A time. The prisoners rejoiced again. Fruit ability. To this, Shiryu of the Rain took a deep breath. His expression became visibly serious. As a strong man who is qualified to be imprisoned on the 6th floor of Impel Down, he certainly cannot be frightened by Buggy's fruit ability. The knife in his hand was gradually covered with a black-purple coating. It is surrounded by armed colors. In that case, I don't know if you can still be so free with a knife surrounded by armament. Ha ha, Buggy doesn't care about that. His disintegration is his own disintegration. No matter how sharp someone else's weapon is, even if it is surrounded by armament hockey, as long as he can predict it, it will split ahead of time. Then they can't hit. Since he couldn't cut it, armament hockey naturally didn't care about him. Bring it on. Out of nowhere, Buggy got two more daggers. Holding a dagger, Buggy charged directly at Shiryu. Knowing that Shiryu was serious, Buggy still didn't care. It is enough to see how confident Buggy is in his current strength. Certainly, he also has his own reasons for self-confidence. In order to split one's body into 1,000 pieces, one must do a subtle observation of one's own body. Driven and worked hard by this condition, Buggy learned observation hockey. And it is the kind of extremely detailed, extremely keen observation hockey. This is also the sword that he was able to dodge Shiryu with ease just now. That's right, Buggy was not passively cut by Shiryu just now. Instead, he sensed the movement of Shiryu's sword in advance with observation hockey, and split himself first. Clang. A shrill sound of metallic symphony sounded. The weapons of Buggy and Shiryu collided. For a time, no one could take the other side. In the competition of power, Shiryu couldn't win Buggy. Really, see the fight between Buggy and Shiryu. Although it is said that Buggy has the advantage of devil fruit. But there is no denying the power of Buggy. At this, Blackbeard smiled knowingly. He just noticed. Although there are a large number of people on the opposite side, many of them are even 80 to 90 million, or even a few 100 million powerhouses offering bounties. But the only ones who can really make him serious are Luffy and Buggy. I wasn't wrong before. Talking. Blackbeard set his eyes on Buggy's face. The more you look, the more I feel a little familiar. This guy, how do you feel? Where have you seen it? 1.3 inches. At the same time, the battle between Buggy and Shiryu has also reached a fever pitch. Buggy bomb. I saw Shiryu slashed. Buggy split his body in half. The lower body quickly escaped Shiryu's attack range. 8 ammunition with red nose skull logos appeared on the fingers. After throwing it away, he came directly to Shiryu. Shiryu instinctively slashed and slashed. Boom. 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 35. A burst of explosions sounded one after another. A huge plume of smoke instantly enveloped Buggy and Shiryu. Soon, the smoke dissipated. Shiryu was unscathed. But the black mist on his face still showed his anger. Looking up at Buggy in midair, Shiryu gritted his teeth and said, B***************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** Explode. If you are in such a hurry to die, then I will give you a ride. Talking. Light and shadow began to brew on Shiryu's knife. Moment. A slash has flown out of Shiryu's knife, and the target is Buggy. Bang. At this moment, a fist was printed on Blackbeard's face again. Only this time Blackbeard was not knocked down. A black smear appeared on his face. It was armament hockey. Luffy's punch was blocked by armament hockey. In addition to entering the fighting state, it is necessary to hold back the pain as much as possible, which makes Luffy's punch seem to have no effect on the first punch. Is it fun? Look at Blackbeard. Luffy retracted his arms. Fighting intent on his face. Of course it's interesting. Blackbeard slowly turned his head to look at Luffy. Black mist surrounds him. Dark Fruit's abilities are motivated by him. Walk slowly in Luffy's direction. However, it's clearly more fun to get involved now. 35. Rubber. Machine gun. Seeing Blackbeard's action, Luffy didn't hesitate. The fist armed with the armed Seba 02 slams at Blackbeard like raindrops. Originally, the speed was fast enough to throw out the fist of the fist, but at this time, it was almost invisible under the blessing of the second gear. It's useless. The second gear is fast though. But it is not inevitable for Blackbeard. Black appeared on the hands. It was armament hockey. Look at the color, look at the degree of coverage. Blackbeard's armament hockey covers even more than Luffy. The difference is similar, if not compared to an adult holding an AK and a newborn baby. Bang, boom, boom. 35. Bang, boom, boom, bang, boom, boom. Fist and fist collide quickly. Both Blackbeard and Luffy are almost out of afterimages. Ha, drink. 35. Bang. 99. Luffy and Blackbeard bump their fists again. Their heads slammed together suddenly. You kid, it's really good. Blackbeard looked at Luffy in front of him with light in his eyes. He is very bullish on Luffy. If Luffy can be like him and can have no lower limit, he will definitely become friends with him. I hate you even more. It's different from Blackbeard's perception of Luffy. Luffy hated Blackbeard more and more. This kind of unreasonable hatred, even finding a reason to fight, is obviously not Luffy's character. But that's what Luffy did. It was enough to see how much Luffy hated Blackbeard. Stop talking nonsense. 99. Luffy stepped back quickly. Put your right hand in your mouth and bite hard. Third gear, the power of giants. 9. With Luffy opening. Then it was poured into the body with the breath in the mouth. Luffy's body swelled rapidly. Soon he reached a height of 15 meters. Giants, a race born with great power. Even the most ordinary giants have the strength of Major Marine, and they can reach the level of Vice Admiral with hard practice. It can be said that it is a fundamentally very strong race that is very suitable for combat. At this time, the power of the giant, that is, the giant Luffy, briefly possesses the power of Vice Admiral level. Blackbeard, die. Talking room. Luffy's fist fell suddenly. Straight to Blackbeard's life. Boom. A punch fell. Masonry shattered, walls collapsed. At this time, even Blackbeard did not dare to resist Luffy's power easily. Just avoid it. He raised his head slightly. Blackbeard looked at Luffy with joy in his eyes. Awesome. Sure enough, it is the person I like. As expected, it is the person I like. Ha 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 ha. Talking room. The black aura around Blackbeard suddenly surged. For a time, it directly swallowed half of the surrounding area. Vaguely, a phantom of Blackbeard seemed to appear in the black fog. Luffy, join me. Blackbeard stretched out his hand and even directly invited Luffy. Don't you just want to be one piece? I'm in my 40s, and with my old illness, it's impossible to live as long as you. I will abdicate one piece to you on the day I abdicate. In this way, wouldn't the conflict between you and me be resolved? And to avoid the war between you and me, why not do it? This is indeed a very good solution. If you put it on ordinary people, maybe you will agree. But, is Luffy a normal person? The answer is obviously no. VRTE. Luffy raised his fist again. With a sudden force, he hit Blackbeard directly in the face. What did you say? Bang. 35. This time, Blackbeard didn't dodge. But directly hardwired, compared to Luffy's huge fist. Blackbeard's fist was as ridiculous as an insect. However, such a fist caught Luffy's fist. The devouring ability of Dark Fruit activates. At this time, Luffy even felt that his power was fading rapidly. Do you feel it? This time Blackbeard smiled slightly. The whole face is covered with two words called arrogance. That's the power I'm after. This is the amount of power that I can be invincible above the sea. Talking room. Blackbeard broke out again. The black fog gradually shrinks from the surroundings to the surroundings. This moment, because Dark Fruit's scope of action is reduced. The force it can swallow is even stronger. Dark water. With Blackbeard showing fruit power for the first time. A cloud of black mist fell directly on Luffy's body, wrapping Luffy's hand. This poor dark water that seems to have a small coverage is playing a great role at the moment. Luffy's body shrank uncontrollably. It didn't stop until it regained its original body size. A fruit that removes the power of the fruit. Luffy's brain is different from other people, he is sometimes neurotic, even a little silly. But in terms of combat, he is not weaker than others, and even surpasses others. Soon, he noticed part of Dark Fruit's abilities. It's no wonder that I just felt my power shrinking, it seems that it was caused by the black mist I just came into contact with. 35. While feeling, Luffy was talking about his own thoughts. This power to remove fruit is not the same as Sea Stone. Sea Stone is the ability to seal the fruit, and make people disappear even their own power, and this ability is only the ability to eliminate the fruit. While talking, armament hockey covers Luffy's hands. Even the fruit ability has no effect against Blackbeard. Chapter 198 The Great Shock, Chen and Whitebeard. Luffy wasn't going to give up on the fight either. Then, as long as you use the power of your flesh to defeat you, that's fine. The thief ha 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 ha. 39. Hear Luffy's analysis. For the first time, Blackbeard let out his own laugh. Looking at Luffy's face, there was disdain. The analysis is good. However, if you want to kill me with just your body, do you think you are Garp, or Whitebeard? Dark water. This time, Blackbeard took the lead. The dark fruit energy thrown by him carries the power of the vortex. This is another ability of dark fruit, compress everything. At this time, Blackbeard had already decided that Luffy could not be his partner. Instead of letting a person who was very likely to become a king of a generation live, it would be better to end Luffy directly now. As for why Blackbeard recognized that Luffy would become the king of the sea in the future. That's of course because the two of them have similarities. Go to hell. Luffy doesn't care about this kind of thing at all. How is that possible? Damn you. 35. The fist in his hand was raised high again. The third gear disappeared, the second gear was still there. Luffy was so fast that he landed on the dark water with a punch. Armament hockey briefly blocked Dark Fruit's abilities. Just this moment, directly smashed the dark water. You guy, it's really hard to deal with. The other side. The fight between Buggy and Shiryu also came to the exciting part. At this time, Shiryu's clothes were already messy, and some places even looked like they were burned. Obviously, it was blown up by Buggy's Buggy bomb. Shiryu looked at Buggy. There was a serious look in his eyes. If you can have a decent weapon and learn some swordsmanship, maybe I'm really not your opponent. This sentence. A wake-up call directly to Buggy. Involuntarily, Chen's figure appeared in his mind. If it is Chen, this request is not impossible, right? Buggy thought so. At the same time, the mind is also active. He wants to go to Chen for help now. However, Shiryu couldn't agree. The hand grabs down again. 2 daggers appeared in his hands. Buggy ran out of ammo. Most of the daggers were cut off by Shiryu's knives. This is his last weapon. Looking at Shiryu, Buggy's out-of-the-way vision has been scanning the prisoners behind him. If not, they are paying attention. Buggy had already run away. Seeing their expectant eyes at this time, Buggy once again said handsomely, hee hee. 99. People who don't know think you're about to win. You know, the one who was just suppressed has always been you. 35. Say so. Unable to refute, Shiryu was also slightly silent. The knife in his hand that belonged to him slowly put it to his ear. Since this is the case, then. Right now, prisoners from outside rushed in. No good Buggy God tier. The ship is leaving. 95. Also, Magellan seems to be awake. What? A message. It surprised both Luffy and Blackbeard at the same time. Luffy and the others are leaving Impel down on the last boat. Blackbeard and others wanted to release the 6th floor before Magellan. For a time, the two sides tacitly stopped. It seems that there is no way to tell the winner. Blackbeard looked at Luffy with regret. He knew very well that if he let Luffy go now, he would definitely leave him a big trouble. But, if it is said that the people on the 6th floor of Impel Down cannot be released. Not to mention the purpose of New World, even if it is a big event prepared by Marine, the purpose of Summit War may not be able to be achieved. In that case, it would be totally worthless. Damn it. Luffy gritted his teeth too. He was also not reconciled. Although he said to keep fighting, Luffy didn't know what the outcome would be. But he still wasn't willing to let Blackbeard go. Both bosses stopped. Buggy and Shiryu on the other side also tacitly stopped and stood beside Luffy and Blackbeard respectively. Under the sea, Chen leaned on the Moby DK and closed his eyes. He was also the first to ride a coated boat. When the boat just launched, Chen was also surprised by the vastness and novelty of the underwater world. But, all living things are the same. It's nothing more than changing a group of species to fight and kill. See more. Also boring. What? No feeling at all. Whitebeard looked at Chen, his eyes filled with relief. Can see. He liked Chen very much. There was even a trace of regret in his eyes. This regret is the regret of Chen's unwillingness to be his son. You know, our purpose here is to challenge the entire Marine. 35. And it's our initiative to attack. This is unprecedented. 99. It can't be said that there is no feeling. Chen opened his eyes and looked at Whitebeard. Backquote. It's just not enough to make me excited. Quote. After all, this is the matter of your Whitebeard pirates. Although I will help, if there is a life and death crisis, I will still run away. Goo la la la. 35. Whitebeard laughed out loud listening to Chen's words. The whole person slowly stood up. You kid, you are really sincere. 35. Of course. In this regard, Chen also intends to make a joke to ease the atmosphere. Honesty is a traditional virtue from time immemorial. 99. Glancing at Chen's expression, Whitebeard didn't react. Deeply agreed, nodded and said, this is the truth. 35. Over time, the scene in front of Chen's eyes gradually turned from darkness to light. Even the sun can already be seen. Little ones, get ready to start working. To this, Whitebeard smiled slightly. Bang. It was followed by a loud noise. The Moby DK jumped out of the water. The film wrapped around the body, money is good, as directly broken. Wow. Ooh. The pirates screamed loudly. It was obvious that they were very excited. Ace, we're here to save you. Ace, we're here to save you. Ace, we're here to save you. I don't know who said this first. Immediately afterwards, everyone shouted. Naval headquarters, the highest point. Sengoku looked at the 3 boats that came out of the water. Enter from underwater by means of coding. This approach directly avoided everything Marine had prepared on the perimeter. Although this method is surprising, it has not exceeded his expectations. That's fine. A look of confidence appeared on Sengoku's face. He believed that his preparations would completely keep Whitebeard behind. Wrong. At this time, Sengoku found Lu Chen standing next to Whitebeard in the bow. Chapter 199 Summit War, 3 Admiral Debut. Lu Chen. A shadow appeared on Sengoku's face. He had already heard about Lu Chen. The news of Lu Chen and Shanks in the dragon battle may not be known to others, but he definitely knows it. Although he didn't know the results and details, it gave him a lot of attention. It can be seen from the pirate bounty that appears in the Grand Line that can break through to the level of 500 million. You must know that all bounties that exceed 100 million can only be issued after at least the understanding of martial marine. The bounty setting in the bounty is even more argumentative. 500 million is no longer a bounty that pirates on the Grand Line can have. That's why other supernovas will have such an urgent need for Lu Chen, and even be a little afraid of him. Of course, it wasn't because they knew Lu Chen's strength. But because of Marine's assist. I didn't expect it. I really didn't expect it. Sengoku's eyes were placed on Lu Chen's face. This person, Lu Chen, may be in existence no less than the threat of the 4 emperors. The reward of 500 million is just because he has not fully demonstrated his strength. If you say that you give him too high a reward, sure to make Marine the object of ridicule for the whole world. 083. At that time, it is not just a question of whether he can keep the hat of Martial Marine. Instead, the entire Marine will be disgraced. Damn it. Grit your teeth and stomp your feet. Sengoku looked at Whitebeard. The urgency in his eyes is clearly greater. Just after knowing that Lu Chen and Whitebeard got together. To be fair, Sengoku had a hunch. That his ace may not be killed by him. Why don't you die so easily, you old fellow? Whitebeard's appearance is beyond everyone's expectations. This goes directly from under the water to the interior of the naval headquarters base. It directly diffused the 10 Buster Call level artillery fire prepared by Sengoku. The videophone bug set up in advance by Marine was completely broadcast to the world. It can be said, the war between Marine and Whitebeard has not yet begun. Marine's side lost face first. It's really a big scene. 35. At this time, a figure suddenly appeared, a yellow and brown striped suit. Wearing the Marine Justice cape and sunglasses, he appeared in the sight of people. It was Marine Admiral Kizaru. Oh. The appearance of Kizaru directly detonated the audience. All the Marines present screamed frantically. It is almost impossible for the Marines at naval headquarters to get in touch with Admiral on weekdays. Not to mention, in order to deal with the Whitebeard pirates this time, Marine has dispatched Marine elites from all over the world. Even fewer were aware of Admiral's day-to-day behavior. All they can know is what pirates the Admiral caught today, and what they did that ordinary people couldn't accomplish. Such positive reports had accumulated enough to make them believe in the Marines. Powerful, strength, omnipotent. Admiral is the strongest fortress in the entire Marine. It's really troublesome. 35. At the same time, a slightly lazy figure also appeared within sight. Wearing an eye patch on the head, he looked extremely lazy, as if he could fall asleep at any time. It's Aokiji Admiral. 95. Aokiji Admiral. After seeing Aokiji, the Marines are excited again. Aokiji's laziness did not disappoint them. Instead, he started to figure out what kind of difficult pirates and criminals Aokiji was catching recently. This seems a little unbelievable, but this is the Admiral's influence among the Marines, even as much as religious belief. Noisy. When the Marines are excited, a red man with a flower on his chest and a cigar in his mouth appeared. Eyes full of dissatisfaction and tyranny. Akainu. Saying ACBD is not a bad guy, but definitely the most extreme abuser. After all, his thoughts are all for Marine's justice, and he is also targeting pirates, criminals, and those who have their own faults. That's why he has the most completed missions in Marine. He is also the most prestigious of the 3 Marine admirals. Akainu Admiral. It's Akainu Admiral. After seeing Akainu appear, all Marines were stunned for a moment, and then they rejoiced. 3 Admiral. All 3 Admiral representing our Marine's highest combat power are present. 5. With the arrival of the 3 Marine Admiral Akainu, Aokiji and Kizaru, it directly eliminated the shock of Whitebeard's breakthrough from the bottom of the sea. This boosted Marine, who had been a little demoralized, once again. Even, Marine's morale at this moment is far higher than the beginning. This is the confidence brought by high-level combat power. At the same time, it is also a star effect. In the eyes of the Marines, Admiral is omnipotent. The arrival of Admiral will solve everything. Because it has always been like this. Don't look at the fact that what you have to face now is the strongest king in the sea. However, Marine also has 3 admirals here. No matter how strong Whitebeard is, he can win 1-on-1, but can he win 3-on-1? The answer is obviously no. Oh shit. For this scenario, Sengoku was not satisfied. Originally, 3 admiral appearances to boost morale would have been there. But not now. But when Whitebeard's offensive was in full swing. In this case, the sudden increase in morale, coupled with the shock of the pirates, will definitely stop the Marines in an instant. There is a cloud in the art of war. Once it is full of strength, it declines again, and 3 times it is exhausted. Whitebeard is the attacker. The first wave of the offensive is the most violent. As long as you can stop it. That would also explain Marines' victory. But, in this situation, 3 admiral had to be played in advance. Looking at the absolute core of the pirate side. Standing on the bow of the boat, Whitebeard holding a sword, Sengoku also had a solemn expression on his face. Whitebeard, you are really a troublesome opponent. Although it was said that the whole card was used first, Sengoku and Whitebeard, the old friends, faced off again in the first round, and Whitebeard could be said to have a small victory. But, Sengoku didn't think he was going to lose. The good show has only just begun. And, what if Whitebeard found Lu Chen? Although it's a bit unkind. But he also found old buddies. Even letting that old guy come to Summit War is something that even he feels a little bit sorry for. But he's still invited. The purpose is to achieve the reality that Whitebeard is 100% dead. Now it seems. This decision is really correct. No matter how strong Lu Chen is. It is absolutely impossible to surpass him. Lu Chen, right, just let me see how you are doing. Chapter 200 A Blow from the Strongest, a Mountain Tsunami. To this day, Sengoku still doesn't think Whitebeard will survive the war. Even, compared to the life and death of Ace, what he cares more about is Lu Chen. Ace can only be regarded as the heir left by Gall D. Roger. Even if Marine forcibly raised the symbolism of Ace in order to exaggerate his goals, he is not a threat to Marine after all. And Lu Chen is different. Lu Chen's completely ignorant combat power, and his ability to improve his combat power for others, are what Sengoku desperately needs. This is an existence that is very likely to threaten the world government just like the dragon. Do not. If the information obtained is accurate, Lu Chen can make people stronger in a targeted manner. Lu Chen is even more embarrassing for the world government than Long. Sengoku. Lu Chen, who was standing on the bow of the Moby DK, showed a little interest in his eyes. As opponents, the two of them hadn't seen each other for a long time. One of the two is king in New World. A well-organized management of places other than New World. Although there are occasional supernovae. But compared to the crazy era of Roger One Piece treasure rumors. Threats to the world can be said to be 99% less. Both sides can be said to have their own achievements. And they are world-renowned achievements. Each has achieved achievements that can be recorded in the history books in the fields of pirates and marines. Ace. Pause slightly. Whitebeard glanced at Sengoku. Meeting an old friend was obviously a pleasure. But that's not the main purpose. Whitebeard is also looking forward to another game with Sengoku. However, the purpose of this visit is to save Ace. Look at Ace above the execution stand. Whitebeard's mind instantly returned to the day Gall D. Roger died. Although he didn't see it. But he could also think about what happened to him that day. Daddy. On the execution stand, Ace looked at the Whitebeard pirates who appeared. Whitebeard, and everyone on the Whitebeard pirates. Tears had flowed out of his eyes. He was already ready to die. But at this moment, he was completely moved. He knows where he is. Marine made him stand on the seat of the world's attention today. Nothing more than to lure Whitebeard into taking the bait. At this time, Whitebeard's physical age, coupled with his long illness, it is not an exaggeration to say that the news of his death is unpleasant. Make Whitebeard's normal death completely legendary. This is something Marine can't stand at all. You guys hurry up. This is Marine's conspiracy against you. Ace growled. This time, the first regret in his life. Even if he betrayed Garp's teaching and upbringing and went to sea as a pirate, he never regretted it. But today, he really regretted it. If he had listened to Whitebeard and hadn't hunted Blackbeard, then Aokiji would not have caught him. If he had listened to Whitebeard's words and asked Marco and others to help, then he would not have been caught by Aokiji. The thought that Whitebeard might never go back to sea. Ace couldn't calm down at all. At this time, he tried hard to break free from the chains on his body. However, the chains are made by sea stone. It directly suppressed the power of the Ace fruit. It even suppressed most of his own power. He is now. Even the two executioners behind him can easily suppress them. Conspiracy. Goo la la la. 35. Whitebeard looked at Ace and laughed heartily. Where is the conspiracy? This is completely a conspiracy designed by Sengoku against him. This is a conspiracy that anyone who loves smart can see throughout the day. But, can he really give up on Ace? The answer is obviously no. In doing so, Sengoku got what he wanted. As for how long to live. How long can his body last? And, it's not in his character to do that either. I'm Whitebeard all over the world. When have you been afraid? Talking. Whitebeard stretched out his hands. Centered on a huge fist. Suddenly there was a sound like glass shattering. Crack, click, 35, crack, kick, a sound rang out. Gradually, the sky darkened. This moment, the whole world seemed to be quiet. What's the situation? What's wrong? It's getting dark. No, the time is not right. A time. Most of the Marines were lost. Only those marine executives looked solemn. Zero. Ask for flowers. This old guy, Sengoku, stands on the top floor of Marineford. There was anger all over his face. There seemed to be a sudden silence because Whitebeard had stirred the sea. That's right. With the power of one person, Whitebeard directly stirred the whole sea. From his point of view, an irregular line has appeared on the horizon. This is no fun. But waves. Waves enough to overturn an entire island. Whitebeard wants to overturn Marineford with one blow. Not enough. At this time, Whitebeard's eyes were full of excitement. He himself had forgotten how long he hadn't shot. The older ones don't want to fight him. The younger ones didn't dare to fight him. The only 2 shots recently, one was a match with Shanks, and the other was a temptation with Chen. These 2 times can even be regarded as greetings between friends, not a shot at all. Boom. Another punch. Crack, clap, crack, kick. The voice of the words grew louder and louder. This punch down. The originally silent world suddenly became noisy. And this time, the noise was extremely loud. Because it is not caused by the quarrels and fights between human beings at all. This is a natural hazard between heaven and earth. And it is the highest level of natural hazards, a disaster called tsunami. Why is it cloudy? Among the Marines, doubts appeared on someone's face. Immediately after, they found out that something was wrong. What is this? With the discovery of the first man. More and more Marines are discovering what's wrong. Why is it cloudy? That's not a dark cloud. But the sky is shrouded. Covered by monstrous seas. My god, what's the matter? What's going on? We haven't fought the pirates yet, what should we do? 99. Even. Many people thought it was an ordinary tsunami. Doesn't mean this is what Whitebeard did. Goo la la la. 35. At this time, Whitebeard stood on the bow. Damn Marines, feel the power of the tsunami. Plant.